futures pointing to another higher open coming up this morning, coming off one of the best sessions we've had in months yesterday for U.S. equities, back in positive territory on a string of better than expected earnings reports to kick off Q3 earnings reporting season, including Goldman Sachs just right now coming out with their report, still up 1.6% here. A bit of a muted reaction for Goldman, but anyways, we'll digest some of these reports once again this morning as we carry along here. For the S&P 500, it was its single best day since March. Yesterday, we had both the Dow and NASDAQ reporting their best days as well for the past couple of months. So very positive heading into the end of the week here. The Dow up 1.5% yesterday, the NASDAQ 1.73%. Virgin Galactic shares on watch this morning, down significantly after they said they will delay their commercial space travel operations going forward. We'll talk about that, obviously. GitLab, day number 2 for GTLB. What a debut it had yesterday on the NASDAQ, up around that 105 area here in the pre-market. And we'll talk about Moderna again. Nice rally into the close yesterday. FDA approving, if you missed it, third shot booster for Moderna for 65 and over. It's Friday, October 15th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things are shaping up so far. Nicely positive once again, right across the board. Nowhere near what we saw at this time yesterday, but hey, we'll take it. All markets in positive territory, including Bitcoin once again, 3.4%. Got to talk about Bitcoin because, yeah, we touched 60,000 overnight for the first time in months as well. So nice way to end off the week here, guys. Good morning. It's Friday. It is a positive Friday, very positive. Still watching Goldman here, not really doing a heck of a lot. I mean, the numbers look pretty good. The quarter was positive for GS, as we've seen over the past couple of days here with the banks. Pretty muted action so far.
Yeah, look, you don't always get, like, when your last report of all the banks and they're all blowing it out of the water, you might not get a crazy price movement for the day trade on Goldman. Worth a watch, though. I mean, everyone's already asking, like, what do you, like, no short already in space? Like, what do you think about Virgin Galactic? I'm a little surprised that it bounced $1 to $20, so welcome. You've sort of been waiting for the breakdown to happen in Virgin Galactic, because I think it's going to be, for me anyways, want to be picking it up in the teens. I think maybe chance it gets there today. It's not all roses. I mean, Corsair is under pressure as well. They had some preliminary numbers that weren't so good. There's actually a lot to be looking at today. Some gappers here, LMFA. You have DATS was on the move and doing some volume, and then of course you guys are looking at that Vinco Ventures, which again could be an interesting trade. So I feel like we're going to end the week pretty well here. We're only up 0.3%, but part of that is we're holding that attempted 15,000 breakout on the NASDAQ, right? We're not exactly stretching away from it. So kind of a big test today. Does it hold that level? I'd love to think that it does, but the longer it takes to get away from it, you kind of feel like we might peel back some of these gains, which have been fantastic this week, Sean.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a fantastic week. I mean, a lot of these markets are getting close to being back to highs right now. So, yeah, the S&P, back to 4450. Look, it's going to be a good one again today. I feel like the NASDAQ is upside. I'm looking at Facebook breaking out through 330 one more time here. Today we put out the sticky note. We got a couple good names on there. DATS, you just talked about space as well. Goldman, you know what? I mean, I haven't really been, I don't even know if I've traded. I made one trade on JP the first day there, Tuesday, and didn't really trade banks yet. So maybe we'll look at banks today. Corsair with a fun little ride today. I don't know. I mean, I like the products. I like the company. I thought, anyways. I'm not invested in this, but Corsair misses. It's going to be on our watch list as well. So we'll see about that. 27 down to 25, and then on the daily chart. Sorry, that's the 1 minute chart. On the daily chart, where was the daily? Oh, this is the daily chart. Okay. We're just breaking down below some of these key levels right here. So you're at 25, looking to see if we take out that 2450. But right now, Corsair, yeah, not a great looking chart, and not really too many levels to bounce off of. So we'll wait to see here what it does near $25. But hey, look, it's Friday. Shout out to Shakib. Yeah, Matic, Polygon went crazy. That was a good call. You did mention that. I think it was up 20-something%, if not a little bit more. So that was a good call on that. And then Bitcoin, man. Like, I don't know. I have the Bitcoin things here somewhere. There it is. Yeah. Let's just do this one because it's popping off right now. Boom. And then this happens. There you go. So that's the moonshot there. For BTC right now, let's just say holler to anybody trading Bitcoins. I mean, if you take out a daily chart right here, where's the daily chart? There it is. Look at this, man. A March right back. I mean, whatever. This was one of the easiest calls you could ever make, in my opinion, anyways, if you just look at a chart. I mean, how many times did we bounce off this 30,000? I mean, you just take it all the way back here, bounce, 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 and now it's a double. So it's a double from 30. Like, Bitcoin has doubled since July 21st. So, you know, everybody that's Bitcoin's all dead, this and that. Like, July 21st, that's not that long ago, man. It's like it's October 15th. So you have a double in there, and it's been pretty clean. You haven't even had too much worry. I mean, if you wanted to get out at 40,000 maybe, but then you have the dip down to 40,000 as well. So let's expect some choppiness maybe around here, around 60,000, up to 65. I mean, you are now 10% less than, you're like 8% away from all-time highs on Bitcoin. How does that taste, Mr. Burry?
Don't spoil the video. We're gonna.
Are we doing a Michael Burry video?
At some point, probably.
I don't know, but I'm tired. You know, I'm tired of all of these people that get like one quarter right, or, oh, the housing market's going to crash. Congratulations. How was all your other calls?
In fairness, realistically, with Michael Burry, like he had a very deep niche and understood that very well, and dove into that, right? And that's the thing. Like, more credit to him. You know,
no, I'm taking the credit away from him. I mean, you can make 1, 2, 10 great calls, but, you know, all these other calls, you know, like what happened? Like, oh, AMC is going back down to $10. Well, it's at 40. Like, I mean, you know, you can't. The point is, I think Neil's right too, right? I mean, everyone's right. It's just the fact is that you got to stay in your lane, and I think
sometimes,
a little bit. And when when you have that credibility, you know, and you make some calls, it's just people don't follow everybody, right? Like, make your own decisions up. And I mean, that was a great call in the housing market.
Look, if
I wish I could have made billions of dollars.
If he comes out and says something about the housing market, I'm going to listen to him.
I wonder if he has.
I would. I mean, I certainly would. And Mike started off early. Thank you so much. We had a super chat already, Mike. What do we see? Correlation VIX and futures. Honestly, like we probably don't show the VIX enough, and it's something we should be doing a heck of a lot more, because there has been, you've seen actually intraday turnarounds, right? Like, if you plot some technical levels in the VIX, which I don't really do too much, I think Arun and some of the traders on the floor also look at it as well. You've seen some moves stall out in the overall market because you hit like you hit a resistance level in the VIX, and then you get a bit of a turn. So it is the kind of thing that if you're trading futures or trading highly correlated names, you want to be concerned about. And personally, you guys see I trade a lot of counter trend stuff, so it doesn't really always apply to the stocks I'm looking at, and that might be why we don't check it as much, I think.
Yeah, maybe. And I was just reading here on the chat, like, I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, like, it's great to see Bitcoin. I mean, I'm a crypto bull, and it's great. And it's just, you know, when people are making these calls, it's kind of like, you know, they get a lot of credit for making calls on things, and that's fine. I mean, you know, I make calls that are wrong. You can make calls that are wrong all the time, but it's just amazing how much, you know, Bitcoin has rallied in the face of a lot of smart people, much smarter than I, have called this thing dead, or, you know, definitely way overvalued. We even had Jamie Dimon come out, and again, he's my favorite. Jamie Dimon is like my favorite CEO. Like, so, you know, it's not about that. And Mark Benioff of Salesforce. I mean, I love those two guys, but Jamie Dimon also calling Bitcoin worthless. I mean, if $60,000 for something that's made out of thin air is worthless, he may be right, but the price action right here tells us something different. So that's sort of why going on that little bit of a rant, because I can't believe that Bitcoin's back up to 60,000. Look, I didn't make that call, so I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, it was an easy one, but it's really nice to see. And congratulations to everybody that's been holding Bitcoin. You're now at a spot where maybe you could start to liquidate a little bit.
Well, sell the news, because
you have the CBOE futures. You have a couple new futures contracts coming next week.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. I feel like we could go on this rant, probably, Sean and I, for the next half an hour or so.
Brendan's fine. He's just chilling out over there. So, yeah. So, Brendan, how are the renovations going then?
Oh, don't ask him.
No.
Cold.
The market guys liking this retail sales number that just came out at 8:30 there. September retail sales 0.7 versus 0.2. So, or negative 0.2, I should say. So much better than expected there month over month for September retail sales. So more positivity to talk about here this morning. It's 8:40. We haven't even said good morning to Miss V. What's up?
Good morning, team. Happy Friday to you all. I wish you a wonderful day and a lot of trading opportunities. Please go long on the like button and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. We'll hit this first and then talk about Goldman Sachs, because here's a brief look at numbers. They beat per share by $4.89 per share on revenue. So huge numbers right across the board. Looks like easily topping estimates for everything. Similar to a couple of the other banks, they're talking about the investment banking side making up for some downfalls or a little bit of a pullback on the trading side of things as well. So we'll have a look at Goldman Sachs coming up here throughout the morning. We got to mention this GitLab, though. I'll slide this over so we can have a look at this morning, guys. GTLB, $14.9 billion. Coming to market yesterday, one of the strongest IPO debuts that we've seen in as long as I can remember. Anyways, looking quite positive here this morning as well, trading near the top end of the range from yesterday, guys.
My goodness, was it strong! And even at the end of the day, if you weren't paying attention, which is easy to have missed, it actually ran to 106, dropped $5 from 340 to 350, then recovered all the way to close at 104. Pushed higher in the aftermarket. Now it's running even higher today. I'm kind of hoping there's a drop back into the previous support level, like that same support at like 340. Man, I'd love to see that happen. Trader Pratt on Memes and Movers he was trading it. I took one trade at the open, and one trade it actually lost at the open when it made that crater through 94. And it's just a sort of that initial opening trade kind of thing, and probably should have held on to it. I know he was trading it alongside, had some success, but man, he was basically saying the entire show like it's going to go to $100 and wait till it breaks $100, and then he left home and went early. But it was definitely a good call. I think if it does anything like some of the stronger IPOs that we've seen recently, like you saw Bros, when I got on a run, it was just a multi-day type of run. So I'm hoping this can do the same kind of thing. I am initially thinking about a dip buy because the selling through that 105 at the close kind of leads me to believe, like, if there is some sell in the bottom, there might be a bit of a, I guess, vacuum before people start picking it up. I want to be a buyer in front of 100 in case that happens.
Yeah, GitLab. Yeah, I mean, I yesterday was in and out real quick, right off the open there. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, and then really this 97 break right there was really the call, I think, because oops, what did I just get involved with here? Okay, Facebook. So Facebook taking out 330. So we buy Facebook there. It's on our sticky note right now. Buying Facebook into 330 there yesterday. Facebook bounced off 330 a bunch of times. Right. I mean, it's hard to see this because it's zoomed in so much, but it was basically barcoding all yesterday. It had about a $2 range, and we just broke out of it. So 330 goes all the way back to here. So we're long right now off that break, but it's a very, very light position. There's still 45 minutes until real liquidity comes in here. So anyways, just back to GitLab, just because we just got into that position. So you might see it. Yeah, there you go. So you see it on the board. All right, so that's a 20-minute on GitLab, so forget about that. Yeah, right here. So I think this 97 area, that was somewhere that you should have looked at. I mean, picking up these bottoms, obviously great as well. We just talked about looking at Bitcoin chart. When you sort of baseline out, that's kind of, the key. But I think that was good there because you started to have momentum coming to the upside. Then when you broke that 97, you never came back. So I think that's something to look at. There is some definite support here. It looks like at 104 or so. So that could be something as well. So we'll look to see a 104 print here maybe. And then I still think it goes higher today. So I want to let it settle down. So my plan for GitLab, Brendan, is let's let this thing settle down, and then hopefully it can make a top like this or even start to consolidate like this. And then we'll wait to bust it through. So I think this goes higher. We've seen some of the movements in the second and third days. We saw Dutch Bros. We've seen some of these other ones, Snowflake, and some of these other highly touted, even Coinbase. Some of these stocks kept going in the second and third days. So maybe not Coinbase, but some of the other names, including Dutch Bros, which is pretty recent. So I still think GitLab has a very, very good chance to go. And I'm right now, if I can get 331 here, we'll probably take $1 on half of this trade, or on 2/3 of this trade, and then wait to see what happens next. But right now, it looks like we got a good little win here. If it can hold above 330, we're going to see if we can get 331s and just take off some risk here before the market opens. But so far, maybe so good on Facebook.
All right, guys, so far so good for a Friday morning. Michael Noss is a chartered market technician with Trade Ideas, joining us once again. Michael, positive here for the overall market. We've had, quite a year. Obviously, it's worth mentioning, 20+% at the top. I think we're still around 17% or so for the S&P, but it's been a little bit, back and forth here, choppy. There wouldn't be a problem even with this market kind of just staying in this range, going into the end of the year. But the question here is, how do we play more of a range-bound market versus that, trending kind of idea that we've had for so long?
Yeah, and this is very common. There's been a lot of study done about year two of a bull market, in which essentially what happens is, you get the sell-off, whether it's the pandemic low or the tech crash or the financial boom, and then you get a big rally off that for about a year or so, and then we end up kind of chopping sideways for the next year. And that's kind of what we're seeing here in the overall market, is that we had that massive rally in 2020 where, you could buy anything and everything kind of worked out fantastically. And then this year, and we'll go into the chart of the IWM here, where this is mostly where we like to play, which is the small cap space. You can see that from February, where this chart starts, until today, everything's been kind of in this sideways mess. Now, for day trading, this isn't as big of a deal, but for more swing trading, a lot of swing traders that I know are actually feeling this, where dips are getting bought and then rips are getting sold, and we kind of end up in this sideways choppy market. So we need to figure out how to play this. So I've actually got 6 ideas. We'll start going through here, where mostly you want to play support and resistance plays. So let's go to the next chart there. Perfect. And this one is Monster Energy. When dips are getting bought and rips are getting sold, this is kind of the game you want to play as well. You want to try to pick your level to the downside and say, I'm going to try to get long before that level and use that as a nice tight place for a stop. And if we rally off that level, I'll start to take profits and maybe hold a bit in case I'm into a big runner. So we see a lot of support here at Monster at 85. So I think if we move off this level, you could take some at 85, and you know right where your risk is. If we break down under that level, that's where you have to get out. So go down to the next chart here, and we have HIMX, which is a semiconductor from Taiwan. You can see $10 seemed to be a magnet for this over the last few years. This year, at least, if you go further back, it seems to be important as well. Again, for me, if we move off $10, that's where I'll look to participate, and then I know exactly where I'm wrong in this one, under an even $10 support. Next one here for Rare, which is a pharmaceutical company. $81 has been huge for this. Again, as long as we're in this buy the dip, sell the rip market, this is what I want to be doing. So I'm going to be long Rare in front of $81 and then out if we break that area. And then for the sell the rip crowd, we can go down to BE here, which is Blooming Energy. You can see this one's been weak pretty much all year, but we have some resistance up at about 22.5. So again, we've got 6 or 7 days in a row into resistance, and that's more or less what I like to see, is these quick moves into resistance sometimes give you a better chance for a pop off of it. Whereas if it meanders its way there super slow, it kind of is more setting up for a breakout. So again, we know exactly where we're wrong in this one, and that's the most important part of trading, in my opinion. Next down to SA, which is gold. We've got a lot of resistance here at 18. Gold was interesting yesterday, where we actually had a rally at the same time the market had a rally, which was, a bit of a head scratcher for me. But again, it kind of goes to my thesis that the market's in a bit of a chop fest here and will probably remain that way for the end of the year. So we have $18 resistance there. Again, if we move off of that, we can take a short, and then we know right where our level is. And last but not least is First Solar. So this one's going to be kind of, I think, the riskiest of the group that I'm watching, where, yes, we've had that quick move into a resistance area, and we've had 3 topping tails there showing that late in the day, some sellers have been coming in on First Solar. But, this one's strong and it's pretty high beta and it's more volatile than the other ones. So this one would be one that I'd kind of keep a smaller position or a little bit of a tighter risk on. But that's the way I'm going to be playing a choppy market, which is just buy the dips. Hopefully you get a good fill on the dips, you sell the rips. For the people who think that these trends may continue and that I'm wrong and we're not in a choppy market, well, it's still a good area to buy. And then your hope is that maybe you take profits on some, but you have such hopefully a good entry area that you can kind of ride those longer and maybe get the start of a new trend.
Yeah, it's important to always have a plan. Is the lesson, right, Michael? So we have that shift in momentum. We went from that trending market to kind of back and forth now. So obviously have to shift gears along the way and come up with new ideas. So great info, great content as always. Michael Noss, chartered market technician from Trade Ideas. We appreciate it as always. We'll speak again soon.
Thank you very much.
There we go, guys. A range-bound market possible heading into the end of the year, obviously, outside of unforeseen circumstances. So I like that idea of finding those important levels and just kind of playing between them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, everything's about pattern recognition in markets and finding what works for you. But the thing that Michael said that I know we all sort of agree on here, and you'll hear traders say this all the time, is know where you're wrong, right? Like, have a concept. It's like whether it's a momentum thing, whether it's a specific price level, whether it's a futures level, it's just whatever. Maybe it can be an indicator that you happen to like, right? Like whatever it might be, it's have an understanding of what that is before getting into a trade, and then once you can identify that, it allows you to be able to track your results. And then because if you can't actually quantify your strategy and track your results and stay disciplined, none of that stuff is going to work. So I mean, right now you're in a range top on the NASDAQ, which we're talking about here, and it's kind of giving me the notion that some of the names that have been strongest might be looking to fade a little bit here today. I cross my fingers as I say. I might take a shot at Upstart, which is literally like the strongest stock in the market that I'm aware of. Anyway, there's probably a couple other charts out there.
World.
I mean, maybe there's something that we haven't seen that is stronger than Upstart in the last little bit. I haven't seen it, but
I mean, naturally there's going to be some.
Yeah, there's something's out there. You guys can probably tell us, yeah, that's up more than Upstart, but Upstart's the strongest thing out there right now, and it might set up for a short. And it's looking like it might have a short setup for me at the open, although I don't necessarily want that thing in the pre-market.
As far as a high-quality name, yeah, I mean, Upstart, well, and a firm. I mean, there's a couple other names there. But no, thank you guys for all the support there. It's been great having Michael on it. I think that, just he's a charting technician, I believe. Yep. So, great to hear everything that he says there and support Trade Ideas. We use them on the show, and I often talk about Trade Ideas. So we use them to look at the shorts, and they also have great scanners and things like that. So some people asking us if we have an affiliate deal with them. We do not, but we're doing that on purpose. So, Trade Ideas does have some deals with others, so you can go out there and find them. And I suggest supporting Trade Ideas. And thank you to Michael Noss for coming on the show. That's for sure.
All right, guys, a few big names for you on this board today. On the upgrade side, there's Tesla down there. Jefferies, Plug Power, big week. Obviously, we've talked about it in depth for Plug. Netflix, Bank of America on here. Morgan Stanley to the downside. We saw some weakness yesterday in the retail sector. That was about it. But individual names, Gap to the downside today, and Coca-Cola. Okay,
I want to have words for you, Jared Cassidy. By the way, just a 20 break there in Virgin Galactic. It was whatever.
Did it go down?
Look, yeah, I got some shares at 91, but I just got trailed a little bit there. I was watching SNOA when it happened, but really, downgrade Morgan Stanley? How you going to do me like that, man? No, anyways, I mean, look, it is what it is when it comes to some of these upgrades and downgrades. You can see Plug on there. That should be another name on watch for us here today. But a bit of a capitulation type candle there in Virgin Galactic, which I said I was surprised it was up here when I sat down. It just immediately started bumping off the top. It got like $1 higher, and then had a consolidation, broke 120, it broke $20, tried to go higher off of there, and then retook this 20 level. Now each time it's had a dip, it's actually come back. I might take multiple shots at this, so I might go, this short probably only like a 2025, because 2050 is a big level, 2150 to 22 is a big level, and I've kind of said I'm waiting to the teens to put in like this is the hold for 5 years type of position in the long term, or at least maybe a couple of digs at it. And it seems to not want to hold in the teens. Like, he just got there today. I thought this was going to be the capitulation. the day that the Virgin Galactic head down to like, not the day, the weeks that it head down to like the 15 to 18 area, I thought this was going to be the start of that, because somehow it's managed to have all kinds of momentum to the downside, to pull back in the markets, and it didn't do anything. It just essentially barcoded around 22. Today is that break. I'm going to short the pops. We've seen how that's gone in the past. It can be a dangerous game.
I just shout out to, I'm going to try to talk to everybody I can here. And I just responded to you. What did I say here? Secret Owl, that's her name. Good name. Yeah, talking about Shiba Inu here. Look, is it a buy on this dip? No. I really don't think that you want to be buying crypto that really doesn't have, what's the market's, the float on this is like 100 trillion shares or something like that. I'm not even sure how it's ranked 12th with a market cap right now for Shiba Inu. But again, we all, and maybe this is me being a hater again, but I'm in this, so it is what it is. But it's just one of those things where I really think that you got to watch out for some nasty pullbacks in some of these names. If you were long anywhere in here, that's a 0.7, right? 7. Now it's 2.4. So you're still in the money here for 4 times, depending on what your price is, 3 to 4 times in the money. So I would, let this could fall back in. I really do think that maybe there's a buying opportunity, at 16 or 15 down here for Shiba Inu. But right now, it's hard for me to say, looking at a chart like this, where the buy comes in on a name like this, because it's not going to get any love from the bigger holders. It's always going to get talked down. It's basically one of those names that you're just hoping for one of those spikes just happen again. And we talked about it up here at 345. There I did switch some money out of this and into Cardano when it was above 3, and now you're back down to 2.4. So I don't think it's that huge of a drop considering where we came from. But again, if you're looking at some technicals and you want to buy it, sure. I think you could buy it, hold it till it breaks 2 there. So that would be 20. So I think that's, you do have a good opportunity here to buy some on the downswing. But remember, I think that the same thing can be true for crypto, as I believe is true, obviously, for day trading. What we do here is, and that Michael even talked about it there, is have an out. So if you buy it at 2.4 and you get out at 2, you're only losing that, 10, a little bit more than 10% on that trade, right? With much more upside. So I think that as long as you put in stop orders, if your platform can hold that, then I think trading crypto is completely fine for everybody. Use charts, use some of the same techniques that we're teaching here every single day, and definitely use market management and risk management on your crypto positions the same way you would stocks, but give it a little bit more room because of the way that it moves.
Indeed. Let's jump into what's moving around, guys, in the pre-market this morning. Everybody take your phone out and scan that QR code. It'll take you right to our morning watch list. I was waiting for Goldman to come out, and they waited until 8:30. So Goldman's on there, but nothing as far as details for the earnings. So we'll talk about that coming up. But that is the link, and that is the QR code you need for the morning watch list. Absolutely free every single morning to you before we come on at 8:30. Okay, space, guys. Let's get into this because it was a big move after market yesterday, continuing this morning for Virgin Galactic after they said they will halt or delay their commercial space flight operations going forward.
Yeah, and this delay probably pushes the timeline, which the next actual commercial flight would have been sometime early to mid next year. That comes into late next year, second half, anyways. And the truth about this name, it's a very speculative play. They're not making any money, and it's not going to be something that is probably widespread commercially viable for a couple of years. As a shareholder, you probably want them doing the safe thing ultimately, but this stock was I feel like it was just waiting for a day like this to roll over the cliff. And this is that day. I think for anybody that likes it in the long term, you're waiting to pick it up in the teens, which is what I'm exactly doing. I might start nibbling below 20 even after the show today if it falls far enough. Like I said, it's putting in a bit of a bounce, which, okay, a little bit surprising, but hey, these things happen. If it goes any further, I'm not even going to give it past this current high. I think we'll see what happens at 2050 as well if I get stopped out in this short just below 20 even. And then I sort of look back to the ultimate, your most previous support was at $22. So I look at that 21.50 to 22. It's going back and historically and say it gets into that zone, it's going to be all kinds of sell. This stock, tends to get some runs you have to watch out for. from the like the Reddit, the Wall Street bets, and that crowd because the short interest and the squeeze potential of it. So you always have to be careful, especially on a dead cat bounce with Virgin Galactic. So it's not going to be the normal setup where it holds pre-market high and it's like ultimately jam into the short. Gonna have to be a little bit more nimble than that when trading Virgin Galactic today. But I'm not trying to catch the dead cat or thinking it's going to be a bounce play today. I kind of felt like there was a big floor once it broke that 22-23 area, and I didn't necessarily see it at 20 where it's holding right now. I kind of always felt it was going lower into the teens. If I'm wrong today, then you might actually see me try again next week.
So is there, because I don't own any shares, I know you do right now, is there a level that is like a kill spot, or is this just a hold forever, basically?
Oh, the short or the long?
No, the long. Like I'm saying, like if let's just say you're long at 20 to 25 bucks. Is there a spot where you say enough is enough? Like, is it that 15?
The amount of shares I have right now, because candidly, like I doubled up twice on this stock and then always come down to literally like 5% of a position. So like the amount of shares I have now, I'd hold on to forever. But if I and I intend to, like if I buy and have a full position at 15, I'd hold it all the way down to 10. And I don't think if you're looking to hold this stock for like 4 or 5 years, or 2 to 5 years. I think it's hard for you to say, like, for a spec stock like this, like, you better be willing to have, like, 50% worth paying. Because, like, you're playing this for, like, in 2 to 5 years, like, I think the stock could be at 100 if things go right? So if you're not willing to hold it past 10, then just don't buy something like this. Like, that would be my suggestion to you. Because that's the reality. You could press through lows. You could threaten zero. Or you could take a position where you're just willing to lose it all. And that's a certain percentage of your portfolio that you might put into things like that. Like for me, there's very few things that fit into that bucket when I'm investing personally. Like Virgin Galactic is probably the only one right now. Like, I don't know, like I can't think of anything on top of my head that would fit into that bucket. But let's say I took a shot at Root. Which I kind of like their business, but it would be in that bucket as well if I actually owned a position in Root. I don't. I've thought about it a couple times, but I still like Lemonade better.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at this 15 level down here because that's that. I don't think it. I mean, really, I don't know if we touched that. That seems to be pretty low. The NASDAQ falling back in a little bit here, so we're going to watch out. Like I said already, that Facebook trade, just like the space trade that I'm short right now as well on Virgin Galactic, just for, like we just said, just for the day trade here. We'll see where we go, but I actually have 2 fills. Only meant to take 1, but we have 2. Not too worried about it. I have it on the sticky note back up here to 20. I mean, it's back up here, but 21.50 or so would be a good level to average into there for that play. But yeah, I mean, I like Virgin Galactic. It's the number 2 name on the sticky note, and all we did was that we want to push in more if we get up to 21.50. So 21.50 is going to be a good level. And then just looking back here on the imbalance locator, it's the number 1 name there on the sell side, but that's not going to be that many shares. It's only 400,000. We've already done 3.5 million shares. So by the time 9:30 hits, this will probably be at like 5 million. And then we'll see what this does. But right now it's just more than 10% of its current volume. Palantir's sitting here, which is going to be nice. I actually didn't even look at that yet this morning. So much on our mind. Carnival, I think there's some Carnival, Norwegian, some cruise lines probably need to be bought at some of these levels as well. But we'll just continue on our watch list for right now, and that was Virgin Galactic.
Now let's bring in Arun first. We'll get a quick check of the market and then get back into the list, guys. We made it to Friday, Arun. It's been quite the week, to say the least. What do we need to know today?
Yeah, this market's continuing to move from yesterday, right? It was a straight up move yesterday. We thought maybe after the open, it might give us a chance to get it, and it just kept going. And it looks like overnight, another stage up, another ladder or rung in the ladder, I guess. And here we are at 44.50, which is, we haven't been at this price point in a while now. So the way to trade this, I'm not even sure how you can approach this in the pre-market given the way it's been moving, but at least after the market opens, the only chance that I can see is if we get a downswing. So if we can actually get back into the low 40s, even high 30s, potentially a long option there, meaning if we can get a nice little setup, a nice little hesitation to kind of just pick up the long and then use 44.20 as your stop on that, and then see if we can't keep this move going after the market opens. But that sell needs to happen. Otherwise, if this market keeps going, I'm not even sure what you can do with this. It's very hard to pick any levels. I do have 44.20 as a potential support point, but the only way you can play that is if we get a down move first, meaning catch the bid on a move down. If we keep going, you may just be having to wait and let the market develop some more levels, some new levels, and trade a little bit more before you can step in and try to keep this move going. Otherwise, we've cleared any sort of program levels that we've been kind of keeping an eye on for the last week or so. Those are the 100 DMA, the 50 DMA, those are all cleared, right? So now we're at a point where we can actually get going without program interference. But the problem is, again, the way it's been moving, the angle of movement doesn't really allow for too many entries unless you actually have already caught the move from the beginning. So be patient. Maybe if we can get a bid down in the 40s, high 30s, there's a potential trade there for a long. The other option here is if we break 44.20, there could be a short, right? So if you take that out, you might be able to kind of take a shot on the short side going on down. I see that shot there, Neil. If we do take out 44.20, and then you have that move down and towards the 4400s. So that's potentially an option as well. But for now, we are looking for a long if we can get a bid down in the low 40s.
I think it was Rob, but you know, it's Friday. We appreciate it, as always, Arun. Have a great weekend. Thank you. We'll check back in again on Monday. GitLab, guys, on the list again this morning. How could it not be after that debut this thing made yesterday on the NASDAQ? Quite the move for GTLB, looking pretty positive once again.
Popular company. They have... I want to say, we're talking Goldman because Goldman reports. They have Goldman and Nvidia as customers there, and they got a lot of They got a lot of hype. It was priced. I think it was they settled on what, like in the 60s or something. It was 77, but which was raised from I think in the 60s. So you're essentially raising that target, the IPO price. You're then holding higher. I mean, it's just a ridiculous hold at the open. Then, like Sean said, breakout at 97. And I don't think I don't want to wait for 97 on a dip buy. Although, kind of like Virgin Galactic, I might take multiple tries at this if it does fall. You know, the first one being sort of in the 101 range. I would probably try it again at this cluster, just below maybe support at 99, and then certainly at 97. I don't like the breakout, just because. Sometimes it's like it's done 56,000 or like 60,000 shares or so in the pre-market, and that break could be very, very low liquidity on these names, especially in the first couple of days of trade. And you know, for a breakout trade, what will happen is if you say, okay, 107 or 107.50, by the time you get shares, you're paying above that ask on the break, and then your support is down at 105. You got slippage in the other direction. It's just easy to get trapped into those. I'd rather be buying in front of a support level that was established yesterday than attempting a breakout. Now, they can be absolute home runs if you win on them, don't get me wrong. I just kind of think that I'd rather be buying the dip. And I look at this 105. If this breaks, it's exactly a 105 bottom today. You saw what happened when it tried to break 105 in the afternoon in yesterday's action. It just dropped $5. So I'm kind of thinking if the same thing happens at the open, I want to be a buyer. I take a 105 breakdown short, but the same reason I don't like a breakout long, I'll stay away from that as well.
Yeah, GTLB here. I was just texting or messaging here, so let's go over to it. Okay, so we talked about this already today, and I mean, it was a missed opportunity yesterday for the long for sure. We tried one time short there, didn't work early, and then we sort of forgot about it late, which was my bad on that one. We talked about this kind of a break there at 97, how great that was for GitLab, and I just think that there's another opportunity today to do the same thing. So let's let it kind of fall down and settle down. I mean, it's ridiculous right now for me to say like any of these levels or anything legit. I'm just going to wait to for something to develop, and then hopefully I can see a pattern like this again, or even just any kind of consolidation. That's really all that I'm looking for on this name. So I'm not going to sit here and make a prediction on what the stock's going to do. I do think that if we break through this 107, that's going to be a bananas trade, but it's going to be hard to do that right now. It's only 60,000 shares. Let's let this thing settle down a little bit. Like I just said, I don't mind going short, long, it doesn't matter. But we just, actually on that note, I should find out if we have shortable shares. It's only the second day off IPO, right? So either going to be really expensive or we might not be able to get them at all. But 107 there is a good break long if you like the breakout trade. For me, I don't on this name. It's a brand new name, so I'm going to wait for some consolidation. Like, it's crazy for me to say I'm going to buy 104s because this could crack 104 and go to 9, like all the way down here, and I have no idea if that's going to happen or not. So let's wait to see. We got to make sure that liquidity comes in here, and GitLab for me is a screaming stop sign until we see levels develop, and then when that happens, then obviously it'll be a screaming go. So we'll wait for it, but I like it. You got to trade where the action is, and yesterday there was tons of it on GitLab. So I mean, it's definitely going to be on our radar. And if any of you guys out there see levels forming, things like that, Neil and I always doing. Obviously, we make You trade 7 or 8 positions at once, it seems like sometimes.
Put it in the chat.
So hit it in the chat if you ever see anything like that. But yeah, I'm excited for GitLab today, and why not?
Action, Moderna gave us lots of that late in the day yesterday. Big run up into the close after the FDA came out and approved third shot booster for 65 plus and quote unquote high risk groups in the US. So 1.7 on top of where we were at the end of the day yesterday for Moderna.
Because sometimes, you know, you throw a level out there and it gets thrown out the window. Well, it's not thrown out the window. I'm kind of being a little bit.
If you're going to throw your iPad, just bring it over here because I need to buy my kids a new iPad. They're already complaining. I think I'm going to get one.
Complaining?
Well, they have one. So my one kid has one. It's a little bit old, which is fine. All she does is play Roblox on it. But the other kid doesn't have an iPad because it's broken. And so, you know, anyways, get your screen.
This is how we get into this because now I want to take a look at Roblox in a second. But anyways, there was a 350 level. If you're watching the afternoon show, as the news came out, shot at a long 334, right up to this 338 lower high resistance. And I sort of felt like, you know, if we gapped up above that 338, which is exactly what happened, we'd be looking for 350 to be a resistance. And I said I was going to short that level if it got there. You know, I definitely wanted this to be like that 930 pop and rip. And someone asked me, oh, pop and fail. And someone asked in the chat, do you see any of those setting up? Well, Moderna is sort of getting away from that. It's right back into that 338 level. And this becomes like, you know, like 38 to the current pre-market high. That's $5 I don't want to mess around with because, you know, you tend to think that sometimes double resistance like that turns into support. So I don't like, I don't like being short in here. And I don't want to short it until 350. The only play that would make any sense is kind of like, I want to be selling the news here. It's essentially just a panel approval. They still have to get the full approval still. So I don't want to be buying it at 338. And I feel like it's already made its bounce and now it could be a sell the news event. I just don't like the setup of a 338 break because $12 until I think I'm wrong isn't acceptable for me on Moderna. I just can't find a way to formulate that trade that makes any sense. The day that it breaks 350, you can obviously see the gap. It's just a monster gap in the charts. When we get there, 373 to 376 is going to be something if we ever see that again, because I think that's a good resistance level. And if we do get a big breakdown between off of 338, just have a quick check back to like right around here. It's like 316 to 318. The same way that 316 was a multi-day level we could take advantage to short. On any kind of a deep pullback, I think you're going to get a bit of a bounce in front of that level on Moderna.
Yeah, no, you know, like Moderna, I still have GitLab up here. I mean, I like Moderna here as I look at it on my e-signal charts. You know, good move up to 340 there. It's been faded off all morning here. Still up that 1.73%. I think we all expected these booster shots to be a thing. So yesterday, actually, didn't we trade it yesterday? But anyway, I don't see any ticks on here. You know, looking for some breaking spots here. I don't know, man. I think just a short up to 350 again. For right now, we'll have to watch out for Moderna, but a big drop down over the last month, right? So definitely has some pickup to go, and there's always little bounces, so we can see if it comes back down to 300. But for a day trade for me today, I mean, Moderna is not really on my radar.
Big move late in the day yesterday, guys, in the EV space. Lucid, LCID. It's flat from where we were, but this is the run up we had into the close yesterday on huge volume as well. Looking a little bit positive here. They just came out with the Canadian pricing for their Lucid Air. $105,000 Canadian starting price for the Lucid Air, which is obviously extremely high, but in kind of Tesla's neighborhood, I guess, depending on which model you're looking at. I was reading an article a couple days ago about Rivian as well. That R1T truck is going to be 90 to 98,000 Canadian when it comes to this country as well. So getting to a point where you want a car, it's $100,000, guys.
Well, I'm assuming you're getting the Rivian. Brendan's not getting the Lucid Mobile, which I'm going to call it. The Lucid Air. Lucid Mobile. What am I even saying? I had not looked at this chart till you brought it up, Brandon. I'm kind of glad now that you did, because if I zoom in on the 15, I guess I could have done this on a 1 minute or a 3 minute, but this is where I'm at. That high from yesterday, okay, same pre-market high, and you have for now a consolidation. I mean, and then in the pullback, you had 2380 here. I mean, you had a top at 2380 back a couple of days ago on Monday, a few days ago on Monday. So you have a nice consolidation range, right off previous resistance, and then a double top, which does set you up for a pretty clean sort of breakout idea, right? Like it's a clean 2420 break, down to a 2370. I mean, 2380 or 2375, whichever stop you prefer. But it actually ends up going both ways here. You can kind of put that trade on to the short side as well. Here's the problem. It's not really doing volume. If that headline, actually had us doing some kind of real pre-market volume and had some action to it, I'd be all over that breakout. But as I said, there's a lot of things to be looking at today. I just watched SNOA go down through 750, and that's about to test support. BBIG's on the move in the wrong direction. I thought that could be a trade at the open. It's kind of getting far away from the high. And I'm looking at Upstart as well. Virgin Galactic already took the loss on LMFA. It's hard for me to add Lucid to the list. We talk about how many symbols that we usually are looking at, and I try to at 9:30. There's no way I want to have more than 4 or 5 positions on, and adding Lucid to it, which I know can be a little bit volatile, probably doesn't make sense. But it's a pretty decent setup here. I just wish there was volume behind it.
Yeah, I mean, that's 105,000 Canadian. So you're going to be looking at like 130,000 US. So if you guys, if that's a decent price for a car, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to wait to see what it comes out. I mean, I know the Fisker Ocean is planning on much less of a price than that. But again, I don't really, until you sit in the car and you understand it. I mean, a lot of people thought, I guess, Teslas were overpriced as well. So we'll wait to see what happens. But Lucid, I mean, it doesn't seem to be affecting the stock at all. It's had some big movements up and down. For the EV space, though, you can get involved with some ETFs. I still think you stick with Tesla for sure, and I like Ford. And you mentioned Rivian there. I mean, Ford has a stake in Rivian as well. So I wait for that to become maybe public. But I get my money into Ford, GM, and Tesla right now for any serious cash. But I think if you did want some flyer money in, I think you could pick up a lot of these different names. Do your research, figure it out. I know Fisker's coming out in late 2022 there with their cars. So it looks like Lucid's going to be a little bit before that. So, hey, man, I mean, let's go and let's see where it goes from here. I think it's always worth taking some shots if you have some cash. But this is one of those ones here that maybe they sell out, maybe it's great, and Lucid goes to the moon. But we'll wait to see from here. It's only flat on the day. Good opportunity to pick it up.
Yeah. Let's jump down to Corsair here, guys. Goldman on the list, obviously, but still not doing much here in the pre-market. Goldman beat right across the board. Corsair with preliminary Q3 numbers that were not good to the downside. They also cut their full year guidance and expectations. They report the actual numbers on November 8th. So a heads up for CRSR, but big move down here after market yesterday. And then here we are sitting at 25, guys.
Yeah, like this one's on the, and I made a mistake there. That's
the other.
Yeah, the other. I was just reading that. I was like, all I do is watch the U.S. dollar every day and do this comparison because, of course, we trade in U.S. dollars and then get paid in CAD. So I did it the other way. 85,000 actually U.S. dollars.
That's not bad.
I mean, maybe it's not that bad, but I mean, it's the same money. I don't know. It's just I did do the conversion the wrong way there, but yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That's my bad.
Yeah, so look, Corsair, I sat down and at 7 a.m., the second retail opened up, you actually had a bounce in Corsair. It wasn't a ton of volume, but some buying tried to come into here. The chart's not exactly going to be the best looking one that you're going to find, but I sort of look at this 26 level, and if you can get above that, I mean, congratulations, obviously, but on a preliminary report that has bad numbers, you have hard resistance here multiple times in the daily at 27. The 50 period lingers up there as well, so it turns into an obvious fade at that price. I kind of was looking, instead of really shallow in a 25.75, kind of, I mean, I don't know, probably what I should be doing in Virgin Galactic, like waiting a little bit longer. I want to wait a little bit longer to try a short on Corsair here. To me, it's not as, I just sort of felt like this might have more of the Wall Street bets, but maybe, or I guess the retail enthusiasm. It seems like that's not the case because the volume is actually in Virgin Galactic. So a bit wrong about where the volume would continue in based on the read at 7 a.m. And I wanted to wait until 26. I'm not sure I'm going to get that opportunity on Corsair. If it does go up there, it's definitely a short for me, testing anywhere close to in front of that 26 level, and then again probably at 27. I wouldn't necessarily think about buying this name. You could maybe find support at that wick from yesterday, 24.20 in the aftermarket. Every now and then that's the kind of thing that holds up. If I was treating it exactly like Virgin Galactic, I mean, it's an obvious 25 breakdown trade, although, again, like I said, somehow the volume's not really in this one today. So I tend not to like breakouts and breakdowns without volume, and I'm just not really seeing much of any in Corsair right now.
Amir Zing, come on, you're a friend of the family. What do you mean that we never addressed your super chats? Did you send one? Put a question in now. You don't have to super chat it at all, and
you know what?
I'll address it. We didn't. I mean,
no,
I never.
We did get one VGFC.
I never mean to ignore them.
Yes, so all I know about VGFC is I looked at the chart. Yes, they had an offering, and that just simply means I don't know the details. Looks like thank you, Brendan. Wow, I just said I didn't know the details. I check our chat amongst ourselves, and Brendan's like 30 million priced at $2, so 15 million shares. $30 million that is priced at $2. So essentially, you're going to have that level of dilution. So you're going to want to have a quick look at the market cap to see how big of an impact that is. Because I don't know off the top of my head, I'm not that familiar with the stock, but as a shareholder, you want to know these things. And a lot of times, if it's received well, you might get a bit of a bounce, raising some money here. But it tends to not trade as much, right? Like once it drops on the offering, a lot of times you do get barcoding or just some stabilization, which I think is starting to happen here. In which case, maybe they are receiving it kind of well. Maybe it runs back up to that $2 level that it was priced at. A lot of times it's not good when you have dilution. If the money is going to be going to a good place and they're going to be investing it in the company, sometimes that can be positive. But it doesn't seem like the market's treating it this way. And
of course, they were on the show Tuesday. BGFC. So good question there as well. Look, Corsair is on the sticky note, and hopefully you guys can see that here today. Only 10 minutes to go. We will look at the sticky note quickly here. Yeah, Corsair. So, they cut the outlook, a bad quarter. We'll short any pops they have and wait to see if there's a 24.50 breakdown. So you can find that on my Twitter account there. And I think that we'll just do that, man. We'll just wait. We'll wait to see if we get any pops into here. We talked about 24.50. Obviously, that's this bottom. It's already been put in. That it didn't hold, so I don't really think we can test down to that spot, but we'll see if it goes. I don't know if I'm going to punch the short there, but I do like a short into this area. It can never be good news, unless the Reddit crew gets on this name, which they could. I know there is a short aspect to this, but they cut their forward revenue. We talked about that with supply chain. We've been talking about that a lot. And then they guided lower, of course, 1.83 to 1.93 versus 2.04 billion. So, a guide lower plus a bad current quarter or last quarter, not going to be a good idea here for Corsair, down that 7%. But then, on a daily chart, it doesn't look that bad. It's just it's hard to find levels. You have to go right back to, what a great IPO this was, from 14 up to 50. That was fantastic in a couple months. So some money definitely came out up there. You can see some of the volume coming in. Volume recently picking up when it went meme crazy. I remember that day. We actually made some money in there, and now it's all getting faded back in. So let's just see what happens. But I do like to short into Corsair. But right now with 9 minutes to go, we'll just see where this market brings us. But Corsair, I like to short. Like to average into it, but let's let the market open up.
Let's talk about Upstart here, the monster, I guess, that is Upstart. No additional headlines today. It is starting to look like it might want to come off a little bit here in the pre-market, but monster move again yesterday into all-time highs. This thing has doubled since that breakout back in August. So, what do we do here, guys? The all-time high territory looking a little more to the downside possibly today.
Oh my God, this Jasper Therapeutics.
That Jasper, so I just checked for locates on Jasper. I don't know if there's a headline there, but remember 18 was a monstrous level and a big time all-time high and then a double failure last time I got there. So I'm going to try and get those locates if I can right now and available for us. I did mention yesterday on... Wait a minute. Yeah, it might have been the afternoon show. Apologies. We were shooting some videos as well, and I don't remember exactly when I said this. And if I didn't say it yesterday, I mean to say it today. Upstart's in a bit of a nice little trend here, and it's got this 190 breakout that happened, clearly resistance, blah, 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 here in the June, and then a breakout at 190 and consolidation. It's a double up from that break is what I'm trying to get at here. Double up since the break. The biggest parabolic candle that you'll actually see, so its biggest move was yesterday. If you look at this entire move up, it's actually the biggest notional day that it put in, obviously. And then a very similar top to what we're seeing here on, so 385 is that high. And then a very similar top that we're seeing that'll work on a firm where essentially you break above that high, then you're looking for essentially, it could be a breakdown at 380 if you like it. But what I want to try to do is, it just broke 385 in the pre-market here, got to 87, and I'm looking to see if I can't find my way into a short, giving it like that 87, maybe a couple of extra dollars, because you might have to give it to 390, and then a rollover type day on Upstart. So somehow it's ridiculous. I know it seems ridiculous. I've traded Upstart twice to the short since that break and managed to get it right twice and make money those days. But look, the trend has obviously been to the upside here on Upstart. So I will try to put that trade on. If it absolutely blows through the top and doesn't give any kind of a turn at the open, like it just continues turning through, I might not find my way into an entry point, or I might just get in and get immediately blown out at like 390 or something, and it's a quick in and out type of trade. Either way, it is going to be on my radar, and I'll be watching that one particularly at 9:30. It was a firm yesterday for me. Today, I'm kind of looking for a similar thing in Upstart.
I'm going to take Jasper Therapeutics if it breaks 18. I mean, that's all that we really have up here at the 18 side. I don't think there's news. It's just this broke this 1250 there, the high of yesterday, I guess. Is it the high of yesterday? Or no, we were already up here yesterday. Sorry, my bad. Up to 14, but we just, I mean, I don't know really what sparked this, whether or not it was that there, whether or not it's, you know, more legitimate YouTubers pumping these things or not. I don't really know, but good move, man. Anybody that's had this, congratulations. Wow, what a big win for everybody there as the cash cow on Jasper Therapeutics just continues to come through. I mean, again, a relatively new name here, down to 7, 3-4 days ago, 7-8 bucks. Now we're pushing 18, and we're gonna go long through 18 and then just give this a couple bucks worth of room here. If we zoom in just a little bit, was there any sort of stop and go spots? I mean, this 1665, there was a spot. Maybe give this, if we get in, which we're not in yet, if we get into this name, you know, we could pull back here into 1650, maybe a 1650 break. We'll get out of it, you know, if it fails to continue to move up, but there it is. So for some reason, we just got long there, 1799. Obviously did not break 18. Maybe it did or not, but yeah, it says 1802. So we're long this name, that's fine. We'll average in maybe on a little bit of a pullback into this area, and then, you know, if it's going to be a loser, probably back here to 1550. But again, not a heavy position here. We'll just wait to see, but I think this is worth the risk, and it's enough to make us some money, enough to lose us some money. So we'll wait to go on Jasper Therapeutics, but again, can't ignore this name. Right to the upside there. It doesn't look like there's any news, but we'll wait for that, and if there is news, let us know, but we'll wait to see here on JSPR, back to 16, 17, 1650, maybe the first average in, and then we'll be wrong here at 1550, which could happen. So Jasper moving.
Yeah, I had a quick look, guys. I don't see anything. Jasper doing Jasper kind of things. This LM Funding America, LMFA, popped up actually very late after market yesterday. It ran all the way up to 686. Which is kind of in this neighborhood if you go back. This is the daily chart, obviously. I just want to highlight this, the top on the daily chart, 550 up to about 575 is just an absolute wall of resistance. This thing hasn't been above that significantly for quite some time. Tried it once in the pre-market there. I just got back in fact. So I'm going to give this all the way up to that 560, 575 area. But LMFA, there's no real news on this. That's the point here. So it's up significantly. Small float though on LMFA. So tread lightly, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I got stopped out once in LMFA. They had, like, a couple weeks ago, they had like a sort of a crypto headline, and maybe that's a sympathy move. I was mentioning that SNOA was making a pullback in here. It already broke the support and missed the shot here at 750. It does set up that if it pops, with only 3 minutes to go here to the open, it does set up for me that if it pops into this range back into 750, I do want to short that pop. I'm already in Virgin Galactic, and we're looking, of course. I mean, LMFA, I want to get back in as well if it pops and holds that 550 high. We're at 385 on Upstart, so that is giving that little setup. Like with 3 minutes to go, it looks like it is going to test that high, you know, with 387 top there, and then maybe into 390, and that's the rollover I'm looking for on Upstart. So we're going to be into, well, we'll potentially be into that one. I don't want to ignore Firm because I know a lot of people are looking at it, and it was a good trade yesterday. Today's a little bit different because you're well off of that high. I talked about a potential head and shoulders. That is there for you, right? So I'm prioritizing Upstart because I think there's just so much more opportunity in that one if it happens to pull back. But yes, I mean, the firm is giving you that same look. Now off of 150 is a lower high as opposed to that 153 area that we're getting at the open. So it is giving you that setup. But with Jasper coming in here one last time before the open, I'm going to check to see if we have some locates. There's no levels on there except like I only said the 18 without it looking because I remembered it, but you know, Sean's right as well. Like there's nothing else to see on Jasper except for that 18 level. I'm going to be looking to play off of any kind of halt that it has to the upside, and then see if I have the shorts, which we do have to check for.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we do have the shorts actually. It's only 29 cents, so that's not too bad. We'll wait to see here what it does. We've already talked about our plan of action on this name, so if we lose, we lose. Let's go over here to the imbalance locator quickly here. Virgin Galactic still a short. We're in this name, but we shouldn't be, but we are right now. Virgin Galactic. Let's see what happens off the open. What levels did I write even down here that we wanted to do? We wanted to short if we got near 2150. We're nowhere near that, so we do have an offer a little bit closer to 2050 to see if we can get that short in. But this could pop off the open. The news is bad, but it's not horrible for space. So we'll wait to see where we go on that one. Facebook, we're in, and then AMC, man. AMC, a nice bottom created yesterday, 39.50. We wrote that down on the sticky note as well. So if you go to the 1 minute chart, it's going to have to zoom this back out. But there it is right down yesterday, 39.50. We had a short, then a long, both made money. But there's 39.50 right there on AMC. So we already have an order parked down there to see if we can get some longs. But 39.50 looks like it's going to be a good one for AMC. We'll test that. As far as a break to the long side, I mean, maybe if you break 40.50, that could be a long as well. So we'll do both of these. 40.50 long AMC, or if it comes back to 39.50, I like both that.
Absolutely. So watching Jasper, 25 seconds to go till the open. Watch Jasper, Upstart. I mean, you can be looking at probably at that LMFA. I know DATS is moving and Lucid also making moves. There's a lot happening in today's action. The market barely up, but it is still up. Miss V, I think, is on the bell as she runs in the nice blue. We'll go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. Let's end the week right.
Okay, we are now open, so let's get ready to rock and roll, guys. Why not? Okay, so we're going. So right now, Facebook, nice little bid. So we got a bid there just before the market opened at 328. So our average price right now on Facebook is 329.50. So we'll see where that goes from here. Just paying attention, see what this market wants to do.
Absolutely, and immediately looking at that Jasper, I did just pay for the short opportunity. It is testing that 18 level. 1823 is the current high, so I mean a new breakout here would have to be 1823. If it does dip down, I mean you're probably waiting all the way into like $15, which would mean that it could potentially halt. But I have to watch out for Upstart and Virgin Galactic, which is headed into the upside. I missed LMFA. I wanted to reload. You can actually see my offers here. I think it would pop at the open. It's now rolled over. I lost on the short this morning on this one already, but got to get over to that Upstart. And testing 2050 right now is Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, I don't even think Virgin Galactic is open
not
yet.
Open yet.
So, yeah, we are short Virgin Galactic right now.
Oh, my God.
So we'll wait to see. We just put another short on, and we'll wait to see where it goes. Jasper right now, taking out 18, and this is what we're talking about. So we're trying to be Superman on this one. We held that all the way back down to 17. We didn't get, We didn't get any of those bids. I thought we were bidding down there. That would have been nice. 1660 we were bidding. It goes to 1665. That's unbelievable. That always happens, damn it. Okay, but Jasper right now, watch out for that one as it just failed up there again at 1850.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see Virgin Galactic open. It's testing the 2050 level. I said in the chat I want an area stop there, and that means I want to see it trade at that level. I'm watching Upstart because I might have missed this move, so I need to make sure I can pick some shares up to get a starter position if it pops close to 384. But until it opens in, when the volume kicks in Virgin Galactic, I can't make a determination as to whether or not this level is going to hold at 2050. I'm kind of frustrated with myself because I could have been more aggressive on Upstart and already been into this position. It drops to 380.
Oh, look at the NASDAQ.
So it is starting to head back in,
Damn
and the NASDAQ's coming down as well. If I missed Upstart today, I'm not going to be happy with myself, but I'm trying not to chase it $5 here. I want to make sure I get a reasonable entry price because I know where I'm wrong, and it's not till at least 387.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking the same thing here with Facebook. We do have another bid on that name, so we're going to wait to see where we go here, but I'm definitely not overly in love with this Facebook position, but we're long at 328.30. We just took a bid down there. We talked about waiting and then putting on some real shares near the bottom. So that's why we have this price now, 328.30. We did talk about this. I thought that breaking that 330 would have been a good, where is it? It's on the 20-minute chart there from yesterday, that 330 level. And unfortunately, there it is right there. It does break it, but the market is like, no way today. They're trying to give some back. So we'll see if it can bounce from here. But I don't mind Facebook. Out's going to have to be up here like 329 or so. If we're wrong, guys, we're looking at 325. So yuck, it's going to be a big, a hit that I don't want to take, but sometimes that's part of the business. So we're going to wait to see what happens down here at 325, guys. It has to break some of these levels there for me to be worried. So, I'm worried now, but still room to go here on Facebook, I feel.
Yeah, it's going to be a mixed morning for me because I can show you guys what happened in Virgin Galactic there. It got to 21. It would not open at 2050, so we're waiting forever for that thing to open up. And then it opens up and screams through 75, right? And into that 21 area. So I got to move the stop to 21. I was going to give the 21 to 21.50 to 22.50 cent range. Now I'm giving a 50-cent range to the top end here. I did get the GitLab big. Remember, we wanted to buy that on the dip. So I was able to get the GitLab dip. We thought maybe it would go to like 101. And, whoops, wrong way. Who cares about the, oh goodness, who cares about the 15-minute chart? There we go. All we cared about was the first dip price into about 100, 150. So I just stepped in front of 101.50, and then this is what we did. So very, very lucky to actually catch that one at 101.55. I want to take some out around this 103, take a couple of bucks out of it here if I can, and then take some more out in front of 105 to 106. And if it takes out the high, I want to hold through a top end break. But I'm already doing this for Virgin Galactic. Now keep in mind, I'm a shareholder of Virgin Galactic in a very small position. I've been looking to add to it. And his stock is doing everything in its power to make sure that I cannot add to my position because I don't want to pay above $20 for more shares of this thing. And it keeps on wanting to do this. So there's Virgin Galactic. I'll flush it down the toilet and then move on to Upstart, which I finally did get into. Brendan.
Some of the crypto stocks, guys, starting to go. Bitcoin trying to get back to 60,000. We're $100 away currently. So any of them going to look like this. Mara, I just pulled up 6% already from Mara.
Yeah, Bitcoin looking pretty close, man. 59.8 right now and moving. So there it is right there. It's trying to take out 60. So good call there, Brendan, as we show you on those charts right now. Yeah, I'm going to be averaging, and it's so stupid because I said let's not take Virgin Galactic until it gets to 21.50, but here we are right now. So Virgin Galactic on a nice move up here. Great move up, actually. I mean, that 12% there goes. Now we take another spot on Virgin Galactic. So we're getting ready to see where that one goes. And unfortunately, our Facebook trade, you know, we were getting excited about it early, and like I said, remember we had an offer to get out if it takes out 331, so we missed that, just barely missed that out, and now we're paying the piper. So we're going to try to wait out for this one just a little bit more here. It doesn't look like anything on the daily chart because you got to go all the way down to 322, but I don't want to hold it that far in case the NASDAQ does actually puke downside there, so we're going to wait on that. But right now, Virgin Galactic going to the upside, but so is Facebook. It's going to the downside. So a little bit cautious on this play. We'll have to watch out for Facebook right now, but you know, it's only out of the money $1, so it's not crazy, but definitely would like this to get up there. Bros, I do want to look at Bros as well, and then let's take a quick look at DATS. That Jasper is really not doing anything. I mean, if it comes back down in, we will take that trade as well. I thought I had a bid. I mean, I've had bids down here. Can't believe I'm not getting picked up at 1660 there. Got to adjust that. I'm literally at 1660.
It's thin.
It fell to 1665 twice, so let's put that order a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's a thin stock. So I mean, I got into shares, like I said, the starter position on Upstart at 383.77, just below that 384 mark. It goes down to 380. I didn't take anything off, and I kind of feel like I should. And the only reason I didn't is because I wanted more shares up here at 385 and figured I could trim if I got them. So if it tests down here and bounces again, I might have to take some profit. Finally get to ring the register on something, so I'll power up on GitLab because I just got the 103.50 fill. So we'll take a couple of dollars in that, but we're holding on to that one. I want to make sure I can hold on to that to see if it really does blow through that high of the day. Just a reload here on LMFA, which I did miss getting back into. And I got lost on the short already once. It then rolled over. Now we're in the 930 pop and fade. So I just picked some shares in here at 511 as we send you back to Brendan.
Some of the banks starting to go. Here's Wells Fargo just popping up on volume, guys, day highs, trying to get back above these levels from the past couple of days for WFC.
No.
AMD, SPY. I mean, some stocks starting to come back a little bit here. Wow, Nucor 103. That was a good one for us. We picked that up at 95. We could check out Nike. Yesterday we bought some Teladoc as well. So we've been buying in this dip. So good. BBIG, Vinco Ventures going back down to the downside right now. Maybe that's a short. Wow. 750 or so on Vinco Ventures. So we could watch out for that. Yeah, actually that's not too bad. We were actually traveling here yesterday. Watch out for this area. That's why I talked about 750. There was some resistance and support, I guess, here at 750 on some of this consolidation. So Vinco Ventures might be a bid down here at 750, guys.
Yeah, and here comes the test in Upstart that I think we got to get put through, right? So we get to that 387 level. I mean, I can show the 15 because that'll maybe give you a better perspective of what we're looking at here. And we get to that 387 level. Now we're into that 87. Maybe you have to give it to 90, like we said, to know that you're for sure wrong. And that's the thing. Like, if you're not willing to sort of risk like $5 or $6 on a trade like this, I'm talking just gross value here. If you're not willing to risk $5 or $6 on a trade like this, there's just no chance that you're going to catch that upside. So let's see what happens at the top here. I kind of want to see what happens. It just got to 390.19, so immediately took out that top. and then it rejected it. So it's not an obvious re-entry here where I'd be like, oh, it broke the top and it came right back in. I want to give it 20, 30 seconds, a minute. What does it do above that level? Does it test a couple of dollars higher, in which case I have to get out? If it holds below, then I would take my last entry into the position. So a little bit of patience getting played here for me on Upstart. Remember, this is one of the strongest stocks in the overall market. For now, it's testing this break. And if I pull level 2 up for you guys, you're essentially seeing it. I'm gonna try to hold a bid. It'll come back below, but then only offer 20 or 30 cents below. Only get about 50 cents higher. So the battle is being waged on the stock. We'll get to GitLab in a quick second. There, and LMFA is also testing the high of the day. So I have a couple of names which we're rounding into the high and have to put a decision on. One of them, of course, is LMFA. The other one, Upstart, which is of course a bigger concern.
I don't know. I guess we're having a problem. Our coffee machine today is down. So we'll go back over to Mr. Cheese and the Yeti. Yetis are fantastic. If you guys haven't had one, I definitely think you should pick one up. I mean, keeps that coffee. Like, I can drink this coffee. My wife makes it, when I leave the office, and then it's still completely warm, if not hot, by noon. So it's a fantastic. What's up, Brandon?
Another earnings name, guys. Alcoa reported aftermarket yesterday. Big pop here for Alcoa. 52-week highs, in fact. So huge volume coming in there for AA.
Yeah, that's right. I just said, oh yeah, Alcoa. We forgot about that one.
We always forget about Alcoa.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, there it is. I gotta get this one up.
What are you doing now?
Now we've now caught a bid on Upstart above 390, so it's gone to 392 here. Gonna be able to get out at that price at least because there's some liquidity at 92. So we'll take the hit on Upstart. And this is the trouble doing this, right? It's 2 times it did work, but it looks like it's even stronger at the high here, and I don't want to fight it. I mean, it will probably get a shot at 400 today at some point, the way this thing wants to seem to trade here. So Upstart, strong move. I'm gonna have to give it up at that point. At some point, you do have to get these things in, and then I'll do this one. We'll do this, and I might hit too many times today. I hope I don't do that on GitLab at least. I didn't have a lot of things that I liked long today. I mean, GitLab was probably the only one here. We've taken a couple of legs out. We got 2, we got 5. Now I want to be holding. I'll buy a dip higher at possibly call it a 102 half, 103 area. There's no levels to work off. Remember, guys, just came to market yesterday. And if it takes out the high, I want to hold on to this long position. I reloaded on Virgin Galactic. I missed in front of 2150, and then it reclaimed 21. So I'm going to start that position again because I said I'd take 3 shots at it. And LMFA, of course, was the other one. This one is starting to make its roll over. So that 930 pop, got some shares in it here at 512. And then if it continues this rollover, I'd probably add to it here somewhere around the 20s, guys. As long as this holds the pre-market high, I think this one can be good to go. And then I'll check back in on Affirm, which if today Affirm worked and Upstart didn't, and I got away from the one that's worked for me just yesterday, probably a bit of a mistake there.
Okay, so we are, we just took a little bit out here on Virgin Galactic. The thing about it is, like your Upstart here, Upstart going up, Facebook going down, but we are into this name here. And I'm a little bit disappointed that Facebook didn't rally more than it has because the market did take a dump there, but now it's back. Market took a dump, but now it's back there, and we could have just got it out there for like a 50-cent hit, and we didn't. So let's just we'll try to hold this one a little close and see where we go. But right now, Facebook right back to that level, right back to here where we averaged in on. But it is going to be dipping down in here. So very, very nervous about this. We are going to drop some out. Let's just double check our price here. Yeah, it breaks through 326, which it almost did there. That's where we're going to get out. So again. Sometimes you do make some of these mistakes, but I still like it. DATS, we talked about that earlier on in the day, and it's one of the names that's on my list here at a 1250 break, but that doesn't happen yet. So right now we're just chilling out with DATS, looking at this 1250 level, and we'll see what that's going to do. There goes AMC. So new position alert. We'll see if AMC can fly now to the top side. We like that 4050 break. Obviously, damn it, Sean. We talked about 3950, man, and we should have put some bids a little more aggressive down there. But right now, here it goes, man. We'll see if AMC can get going, and we'll see if it can pop there with AMC to the upside there. We'll see if it goes. But right now, AMC 4050, that's the long. We did have some consolidation up here at 41. So look, call me whatever, but I'm going to get out here a little bit at 4090 if we can into this teeth. So we can take 30 cents right now. We'll do that on AMC. And this is part of what you have to do, man. When you have 4 positions on, if you get a winner, sometimes you got to take them and then massage your losers. So 4090 right here, we'll get a piece of AMC, and let's at least take some wins on this one.
Yeah, and so as I saw GitLab come back down in, there was just no, it's very thinly traded, by the way, guys. The spread is opening up like 50, 60 cents. So when it came to 103 and I was looking for a dip buy, I just immediately was like, there's nothing here. It's absolute air, and there's nothing down to my other entry point, which was the bottom at the low. So I had no other recourse. Just say, I'll just bid in front of 101.50 again. I did, and it's just a couple of prints down, and it's immediately giving you that fill. So I'm going to make just rinse and repeat here. Fire in front of 103.50 and see if I can get a fill. Hold on to the core long position one more time here. But GitLab is all over the place with the spread. It's just almost entirely too big. But you got to make sure you play it very carefully here because it'll blow through like $1, like no trouble here. Yep. So you could be at 100 in a split second. Brendo.
Wow, Upstart all-time highs, guys. ABVC BioPharma was another one that I saw in the pre-market. Not really doing much as far as volume. It was higher, but didn't find really any significant reason for this, but just popped back up to session highs there and failed pretty hard for ABVC, you guys.
So of course, I mean, like I knew this would happen. I'm like, without looking, I bet you a firm did exactly, that same thing. It rejected 150 at the open, it pops, and it's now dropped $4. I might actually come over to this name just in case it catches a bit of a pop, but I'm not going to chase the move, right? I've already missed out on it here, and I don't want to chase that move. I do want to see if I can't check back in. LMFA took out the top, so we're out of that one, and I did want to make sure we check back in at some point on Goldman's, which is on New York, on Goldman Sachs. Load. There we go. On Goldman Sachs, which for now is back below a 400 level. And the only reason I'm remotely interested in it is Goldman is attempting to make a break and hold of the 50 period. The market's rolling over. It could turn into resistance right around this 398.50 area. So if we do hold below here, you could have a potential rollback over on Goldman Sachs. And this is what it looks like on the 15. Last time it got to this price, you had a jailbreak and just an absolute flush. Now in earnings, we've seen bank earnings sell off before, guys. If this is going to continue and the market's going to continue to come back in here, you've got a lot of room in, like maybe $5 or so below that 398.50 on Goldman, which I do like for a short entry. And we're at 100, like I said, on GitLab. Thank goodness I bought at 101.50, not 103. This stock, if it breaks 100, I mean, it could really give you 97s as a pullback, but I still like it to the long side as long as it's above this 100.
Okay, so we did get stopped out there on a 326 break to the downside for Facebook, so we'll beat that one up a little bit, or get beat up, which is what this is. So we'll wait to see now. I did take one more bid on there. We'll give it now to 325 bottom, just to give it one more shot. But I mean, the NASDAQ and Facebook are not friends today. They're not really even following each other. But I don't want to give it back down to this 318, which is the 200 period, but 322, 323, but we're going to get out. I mean, it just looks like it's going the wrong way there. So we will take that hit. I know some people talking about that LMFAO. I'm not in that name, so nothing to do there. But we are in this, which was a good one at least. I mean, at least this looks okay. So we'll dap it up for AMC. I know a lot of you guys are in AMC and hopefully not in this Facebook trade with me. But again, we're out. We've de-risked a little bit on that. Facebook, a lot on it, obviously. But that was a bad one. We'll miss that. Yesterday we took a $5 winner on PayPal, $4 winner on Microsoft, and then today we take that $2 hit on Facebook. So hopefully that can get back to the upside. It doesn't look like it's pretty sick. AMC good out there again, right in the 90s. So we did get out at 2/3, and now we're holding that one last little piece there. See if we take out this 41.10, which it just stopped on, which was yesterday's high. You take that out, and we go back to the upside. AMC with a 6% move yesterday, and it looks like it's making the similar move today, already up 2%. Let's see if it can go. Look at Virgin Galactic right now. At least that's pretty good. As it's coming back down to the downside right now. We're in the money now, 17 cents. But again, we just took a bid out there on VWAP, so that was pretty good. And now we're trying to fall, now we're trying to even fall even a little bit more. I still think this level, maybe 2030, is another spot to get some out, so we'll do that. And we're making some money back. I mean, it is what it is. This is what day trading is all about, so let's see if we can't keep the momentum going on some of these names that we're right on at least. And we'll put a bid down here. And even if we go 2040 here on Space, hopefully it continues to fall.
And I just mentioned a firm. A firm just went green on the day, so it's back up to that 149 area. So, I mean, we talked about that Head and Shoulders 150, so I'm going to get over to that one and see if I can't get, I want to chase this one too far here, but it just got back up to 149. I want that short here. 150 is an obvious level, and 153 is even a good top. Brendan, what do you got?
I've seen a few Chinese-related stocks, guys, doing big-time volume. Here's NIO, 3.3%, back to 37.5 here for NIO at day highs.
Okay, Virgin Galactic's falling down here, so we will look at NIO. I mean, I love NEO. It's pretty much on my watch list every day and wasn't on it today. We talked about that yesterday with some of these Chinese names getting bids. And, you know, we do videos, we do all these kind of things. And I've always been a supporter of NEO. And I think that there was a great buy down here at 33 bucks. So, unfortunately, I mean, that's easy to say now when it's at 37.50, but there was those levels there, and those are the kind of trades that we like to pick up. DraftKings also barcoding down there. We can talk about DraftKings in a minute as well. I think that has a very similar setup, but we've already taken these levels out. That would have been a great bid down here, 36.60, if you're able to get that early on. But for right now, we're just taking out the 50 period, which is 38 bucks. So that could be a bid there, $38 on NIO could be something that we're interested in.
And here we go, right on into a firm 149. Now we're testing the 150 break. I will only add to this position on a 150 breakdown. GitLab is going to test this 97. It already bounced once. I want to be adding in front of it. I actually just tried to add in front of it and couldn't do it. 15-minute chart is completely useless. You can only look at the 1 minute for yesterday's action. So this is GitLab. This is the cluster here at 97. Each of these ranges is like a full dollar. So just understand, when you come into the stock, like you're looking at $5, $10 type moves here. That's why I'm only taking profit, you know, like $2, $3 minimum, even for a scalp trade here. And when we reload it, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, I want in front of this 97. You can see that's where the big breakout was. We talked about it in the pre-market. So this is the last itch. If it breaks that, that's a hard stop. But I'm not covering anything till it's back to 101, 102, and then that 103 area. So you're opening up the range on GitLab because it's very, very thin. It has a big spread, and that 97 is definitely a hard support level. If this is a top and upstart, I'll be kind of sick to myself, but I still think maybe it might test that 400 level when all is said and done. Virgin Galactic I got back into, so I guess we can just, I missed 2150.
Wow.
Load.
That just tanked hard.
I know, I was going to say, it just tanked. I missed 2150 on the entry point. Then got back into it when it retook 21. I wanted it to be a short off of 21.50 to 22. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, as you can obviously see here. Going to take some profit in front of 20 even, and then start shorting every single pop that it makes, and then use that 21 to 21.50 as a new entry area for me on that one.
Okay, so Facebook drops through, and once again, we'll flush ourselves down the toilet on the second shot there on that name. I don't know, people saying, what is that? What is LMAO? I'm not in that one. I know Brendan talked about this earlier.
LMFA.
Oh, LMFA, that's what it was.
SNAO.
LMFAO, yeah, that's why I get that confused. Okay, so, okay, there it is. Yeah, taking out that level right there, 535 on the bid. Boom, a nice little move to the top side. Now coming back in. So obviously, if I don't even know the symbol, I shouldn't really be trading this. So just looking at it because you guys were talking about it, 480 there at the bottom. That could be a good spot to pick up as well. We did average into Jasper right now. We took a 15 bid there, just ahead of that level where we would get crushed out at. So our average price right now, 17. So has some work to do, but I feel better about a 17 than I do about that break. But that's 3 averages in, man. I mean, we could lose on this one as well. I just wish, I mean, that Facebook trade is really the nasty thing for me, because other than that, man, it's been pretty good. Space right now making moves to the downside. We did take that bid, like we said, at 40, so that's a 55-cent winner. Or we're in it right now, 55 cents, so hopefully it continues to fall down. Space looks like we'll get that call right at least. What's up, Brendo?
WTRH, little tiny one that popped up a couple of days ago. It's had a decent week so far. I mean, it's around $1, but big volume just came in, guys, for Wader Holdings.
Ooh, Wader Holdings.
I remember you, Wader. So we're going to get this test at 152, it looks like, on a firm. I'm going to pull it back. I mean, I got the 1 minute because I keep going back over to GitLab. And the 15 minutes, what we got to look at here. Yesterday, it topped 153 about 3 times before rolling over. So I took one entry point here. I'm only going to add 1 time to a firm. It actually held some support. And the other thing to keep in mind here, guys, is the market is, the NASDAQ's holding a 100-point range in the top here. You check that, not even like a 50-point range at the top, above that 15,000. It hasn't decided which way we're going, which is a little bit surprising to me. And I don't want this to jailbreak to the upside. Virgin Galactic, I'll take 1 more leg out in front of 20, and then I'll probably just hold on to the rest of it. But the next thing is going to be, GitLab just broke through 2097. So I don't know where the support's going to be there. The first bounce worked. The second bounce gives you no chance. But the next trade is going to be off of a firm here. If it cannot get through that high from yesterday, then I'll reload into that one. Miss V this time. What do you have for us?
Hey Neil, it's a good day for Camber Energy. CEI is up around 8%. Do you guys see any opportunities for yourself in CEI
8%.
today?
I mean, there's
That's
a lot.
not that much.
I think I mean, it's not that much, but I'm pretty surprised at that because Camber Energy, I shouldn't say I'm pretty surprised. It made that bottom at $1 not too long ago, right? So no surprise there that today at 117 it does start to hold. Camber Energy there, you know, it's right at the 50-period moving average. Look, you guys that are invested in this, I don't have to tell you about it. You know, the share structure there isn't super great or favorable for shareholders because they've reverse split and they've done a whole bunch of stuff there, or just split for Camber Energy. So you got to be very, very careful down at this dollar mark. But I still like it here today. If you look at a 20-period chart, yeah, I think you just got to get it back into here. Like if you can get it back in and then hold against that dollar, then I think there is some upside movement today. Obviously, with 43 million shares, it's not the billion that it's going to do, but a nice move up on the 1 minute chart. I don't mind it if you get it back here to view up 130. But wow, it is pushing higher here. So a good little look for you guys there on Camber. For me, always this area 160, 170 is an area of concern. So I think if it gets up there, then it's going to be a short.
Yeah, there's actually a big, like this 140 to 141 was a big level here. And it's trying to chew through it right now. If it gets through, I'm going to leave it alone because
Look at AMC, guys.
just like DATS, I kind of feel like it's probably going to be a short at some point. So I'm looking at like 165 or so. If it pops 165 to 171, then fair enough. I just got the turn at 152 to reload on a firm. Yesterday's high was 153.50. That's going to be my out. And then Virgin Galactic, we didn't get back any more shares there, and it just popped off 20 even. There will be a reload, but that's likely in front of 21. And I'm glad that I waited on Upstart and didn't say, okay, well, let's immediately jump back into it because it looks like this is a high. It's now testing 395. So I thought 400 might come. So I'm holding off to see if it tests 400. That's a couple of bucks, well, a few bucks away here, not a couple, that would be like 98. But I'm waiting for that to get back in because clearly the rollover didn't set up, and the only level above here, because it's air, would be the 400, the even number. It's a psychological thing, but that setup didn't work this first time.
So right now, guys, we'll do a little bit of diamond hands because we still have this. We still have AMC long at 40.50. So hopefully, let's go AMC here. Here go another. I mean, this is what I'm talking about when you lose money on Facebook. I lost way more money on Facebook, obviously, that I'm making on AMC because I have multiple averages in. That tends to happen. But when you see a key level, you take it, you break it. It gets right back into this area there. We take a piece out there for 50 cents, and I said that I may regret that at some point. But there it comes now to the upside as AMC just continues to be a nice one. We'll spin this for AMC. We only have one trade that I'm pissed off about, man. And the Jasper one I'm not really into heavy, so I'm not, that's not one that I'm concerned about. But now with AMC starting to go, obviously we're upset about that Facebook. I'm holding on to a very, very small piece here just to see if we get back going. If the NASDAQ can take this level, Facebook can take 30, 25, 60 or so, we'll probably punch a ticket long one more time. But until then, probably stay away a bit. But right now, Facebook's starting to rock and roll to the upside. So maybe there's a spot there we can get a little bit back on this trade. And then Virgin Galactic, look at that out. Like, again, man, we'll just dap that up. We talked about some of these outs when it came back into this area, and we did that, man. So $20.23 is another out. Ding, 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 ding. Putting us positive, obviously, there on space. So we're going to have, looks like one negative stock today. Jasper pending, which is going to be Facebook. But space, a good one. AMC, a great one. And AMC maybe getting up some steam up here, but 41.30. There's not really anything here to worry about on the daily chart. You did actually, what is this level right here? We're right at this level right now, 41.80. So yeah, we get up to 42 bucks, then we'll worry more about AMC. But for right now, looks like it's going to be a decent one. We're out of 2/3 of it, but we're still holding, trying to make this a winner. We'll find out where we're going to get out if we're wrong.
And I'll tell you the problem with a GitLab is I put a stop in it at 97, which sometimes you got to give it more room. Oh, I was going to do this one. I'll do this for you guys because thank you for pointing out 60,000 on Bitcoin. So we should probably do that for everybody.
Hell yeah.
We're pretty much almost everyone bullish on it here. I think so. So the initial dip is going to be good. The second dip probably had the level area right, but I am going to stop out and make the low of the day. It's kind of like my luck today. Like, whatever. It's going to happen to you. Like, I'm already having my worst morning for sure. If it ends up that that's the bottom wick, there's probably another opportunity to get into this. Hopefully when it settles down a little bit. It was great off the open. Now it's looking like a bit of a dog. That CEI, which I said I was going to sit out, I'm still for now sticking to that. It's Oh, that's on the Amex. It's at that 141-ish area that was a key level on the 15-minute chart, and it is stalling out there. That didn't flip. And it is sort of stalling out here, and a lot of times I think about that short, but I'm going to give this one a little bit of room. Let it breathe a little bit here, because if it falls down from this price area, we've seen what happens when these things turn into a bit of a short. I don't want to be fighting it too much here. Already fighting enough to the short side as it is, and then starting to look at this 160 to 170, like I said before. And that... I'm going to kick myself over Jasper because I was sort of looking for, I mean, I kind of threw out there, I was like, yeah, you know, if it comes back into like 1550, that could be an interesting place to buy. But I wasn't really paying a heck of a lot of attention when it got down here. It's now managed to hold that as double support a couple of times and trying to break back into the upside. It tested a third time on Jasper. I might take a shot with just like a dead cat bounce, but just keep in mind, like this you have to have a bit of a stop with, let's be honest. Like you could see this thing drop all the way back to 1250. There was no news or a catalyst for why Jasper went up in the first place. So if it comes all the way back, do not be surprised. Affirm, I think, Jude, you might have said it, but I'll go with the same thing. You actually can see my stop order. And then yesterday's high, which on the 15 you can see right here. This is what we're shorting off 3 times yesterday. My stop is above there. This makes a fresh high. I'm not going to fight it. I missed the initial trade on Affirm. So I don't want to dig in too deep on this one. If it breaks 153.5, I'm just going to get it. It's actually a couple of pennies higher than that. That's where the top was yesterday's action. But I'm not going to fight it too far. And then still waiting for Upstart, which, believe it or not, is now testing that top one more time. It's actually forming a bit of a bullish pattern here. If it breaks out, 400 is looming on Upstart. That stock is just unbelievably strong, right? Like there's almost no standing in the way of it. I still feel, given where the market is today, just to slow things down a bit, like this is the ES trying to continue its break, but this is a NASDAQ overall holding at that high. So if the NASDAQ rolls over, that's one of the reasons why I think Upstart could be due for a pullback. And a pullback on this stock could mean $20.
Yeah, I can't wait for that because I do want to buy Upstart for sure. So, all right, so we hit that siren there. We are back into Facebook now. I said if it takes 325, we'll try it one more time. So we're going to do that, and then it'll be pie on my face again, like going back to the well, not, you know, like as a manager and as a risk manager and as a guy that's hired, you know, hundreds of thousands of traders, I don't like this move going back in. So I'm very, very, you know, cautious of this, but this has been a stock that we haven't had a great call on. So I just wonder if it's bottomed out there, and that's why these are shares to wonder. So right now, this is not like a big position. I'm not having a great morning, but it's not terrible. So we'll just wait. I mean, it's all Facebook. I mean, I'm up on everything else. It's my whole net is my Facebook loss. So right now, 323 down here. We're waiting for that one to fill out. So, you know, if we do break back down below the low of the day, now this 324 print, like, I mean, that was a wick down. I almost don't even want to give it to that, but whatever, 324. I mean, there'll be a dollar hit on the last little bit. These are kind of like fun shares, so we'll see. Hopefully, this can make it back. We won't make back all of our money, but if Facebook tries to go here, at least I'm in. So whatever, 324 break. I hate to do that, man, because damn it, if it doesn't work, then I'll feel horrible about it. But okay, AMC right now as well. We just got out, so that broke back down through 41. That was going to be our out. We didn't talk about that, but that was the out right there. So we did get out of another piece. We'll look to get back into AMC if we can get down to $40. So did you want to say something before happening now? Or no?
I wanted to say, like, I see nothing on SNOA, but BBIG is at that 870 level that it was twice a breakout for us to $9.35. I did anticipate that there could be resistance here on that, but 870 is a monster level on BBIG. It's been a great breakout there, but that was twice before. I think it could run into resistance, already a lower high, as we send you to Brendan for happening now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock, so far so good. We are holding on to some of these gains. The S&P 0.6, the Dow leading today, which is a little bit of a change over the past couple of days. We've had some tech strength leading this market higher the past couple of days. Not the case today with the Dow up 0.9. The Russell, very, very strong out of the gate. I noticed small caps just absolutely ripping even before the opening bell this morning. The TSX here in Toronto, 0.4. to the upside. A few things we were talking about if you joined us early on. Moderna fading that gap to the upside after the FDA approval yesterday for the booster. And then this Plug Power was on the list again today. We did actually break that support level from late in the day yesterday, but you can see trying to retake some support, guys, for Plug. Back to you.
So I just want to finish the thought here on BBIG. I'll pop the 15-minute chart so you can see how significant, like 870 every time it's come here. You've had resistance, and then you had a breakout through that price. You had support on the dip, and then you had a breakdown, resistance, breakout, resistance again. Then a bit of a pivot, and then it was hard resistance at this level up until essentially right now. So this is what you're essentially breaking into. And I'm letting it sort of figure itself out in this range and let it get to like 880, hold at 875 before figuring out what it wants to do here. But a monster level on BBIG that it could actually sustain. You're getting a double top, you're getting a break. I just want to see it sustain this break. I even think if it dips down, it's got to go past 850 before I'd be convinced that it's really rejecting this level. But that's a significant one. And it's been a pivot a couple of times as well. Just today, it feels like it's making that bit of a turn. And you do have room to at least 935 to 950 if this does continue the fall through. So it's not like you're missing out on the move if you waited out a little bit here. But that's the full thought on BBIG. I know I kind of rushed it before.
Okay, yeah, we're just getting our stop order in for Facebook in case it does take that level out, 324 down there. I mean, if it takes it out, it takes it out. We'll just have to move on from that. Let's go over, I know Neil's been trading GTLB. I want to have a look at it myself one more time. We said that we wouldn't get involved with this until it started making some levels, and this is why. Like, I don't see any levels here yet. It is back down to this 97 there from yesterday, so that could be a testing spot. But again, it's basically right back down to where it's IPO'd at. So 94 bucks yesterday comes out. It comes right back down to 95, so you could have had that again. So that's a little scary for me down to those sides. So we'll wait to see what does happen right now with GTLB, but maybe a break right here might be something. 101. So if it can get back up there to 101, maybe we'll take GTLB. But for right now, we're going to stay away from that one. But I do like it. It's just a matter of right now, it seems a little bit too risky for me to do that. So GTLB right now on watch, but trying to move. Facebook there. Okay, so this is a good one. We've already talked about it's not doing anything. What am I talking about? Jasper. So again, all right. We have a position here. If it breaks through 14 is where we're going to get out. So it just wicked down to 15 there. There's really nothing on this name, and we were trying it. Gets it back into this area where there's a couple levels there. But if we break down below, man, I mean, I don't need this to happen. Back down to 12, it probably starts a halt. We don't want to be in any halts, obviously. So to back down here to 12 is going to be a little bit of a problem. So we're going to get out if it breaks through 15. That was that wick to the bottom there. I think Jasper has a chance to make that hit again. So if it comes back in, that's great. Not great, but that's where we'll get out. And then hopefully we can make a run back to 1750, but it's not looking like that. So let's not count our chickens too much here. It looks like it's going to take us out, but that's that trade. Facebook falling, we've already talked about that. And other than that, man, we're still looking for some new names.
One of them
go ahead.
Might be, and I'm just sort of asking Brendan if there's any news on 23andMe, but I'm adding that one to my quote board because I saw someone mentioning it in the chat, and I wasn't aware of anything that happened to them. But they are up pretty significantly here and getting into a big level. Looks like they got a positive mention on CNBC after market, and it's up 17%. So, okay, that's all it takes. Anyways, like I said, it's at a key level here, 23andMe. 935 is a bit of a double top here. I'm just a little bit perplexed as to how that gives you a 17% move, but I guess it's pretty thinly traded as I watch it here. But it's at a big level at that 935. I want to see if it's going to be free shorts. But if it makes a turn here, it just kind of would stand out, obviously stand out big time. And then speaking of that turn, a lot of people are talking about potential market turns here. ES, relatively speaking, ES still sort of breaking higher as we speak. The NASDAQ still threatening that turn. We have not broken. What's crazy is, as whippy as all these stocks have been, I'm sort of sitting back, and that's why I'm like, I'm calm down on a firm here, not making any moves on space, not adding, not taking off, because the market's still deciding what it wants to do. The NASDAQ is sort of primed to make a bit of a turn, and I don't want to make the next move until something actually happens here, unless it's in one of the IPOs or one of the small caps. Brendo? I
was just double checking that. It was EMJ Capital founder and portfolio manager Eric Jackson, if that matters, that was talking about 23andMe and closing bell yesterday on CNBC, but nothing else, guys, as far as news for them.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know anything about Eric Jackson, but we'll see what happens here with Ford going to the upside. A nice little move for Ford again today to man up another 2%. Yesterday, Ford didn't do too much. It just kind of hung out here. It already touched these levels, but we do have a possibility here for a multi-day break on Ford, right? So we're going to wait to see if that can come through right now. So 1580 top side there on Ford, especially if this market is rebounding. You have the ES up 0.7, so it's up much more than the NASDAQ, like double the NASDAQ right now, so the ES starting to climb. Probably bank names leading the way on that one. We can check out, let's go over to, which one do you want to check? Let's check JP Morgan because that was the only other bank that we traded this week. Yeah, 165, wow. We went long 161, okay, on JP Morgan, but today it looks like, yep, the bank's leading the way right here. So yeah, good move to the upside for JP today. That was yesterday, of course. There's that 160 that we tried yesterday. Unbelievable that didn't hold. We dipped down to 159 and change, but there it goes right back to the high side. JP Morgan possibly taking out this 166 area, 166.70, the top there on their earnings day. I guess, was that their earnings day? Must have been, what day is this? No, that was the 13th. But 166 top there, all the way back down to the bottom. Yeah, that must have been earnings. So right there, 161. Looking to see if we can take out that top again, 166.60 on JP Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that Goldman Sachs. It couldn't really hold below that 400 too well, or that 398.50 level as well. So a couple of things, like I said, that the 23andMe, it just doesn't feel like that's enough of a catalyst. And there is that level right there, that it's like 950-ish on the daily chart that I was just showing you, like a triple top at that range. Virgin Galactic, like I said, I'm now holding off on doing anything with this stock. You can see it barcoding off of VWAP. Like we already took the hit, like averaging into a short. I'm not doing that again. I only got one entry back when it took 21 even. So at this point, look, if it falls for the rest of the day, then we have what we have, and I'll wait for it to break 20. If it pops, I'm only playing off 21.50. I'm not doing anything in the middle on this stock. That LMFA is now back below 5, so it looks like it's capitulating a little bit. Not ignoring DAS, but as you can see, I mean,
it's falling down. I mean,
yeah, I know. It's like there's been a lot of other stocks to look at today. There we go. I wish I was paying attention to this one and saying this is the one I wanted to short, but let's be honest, I didn't. And you're going to see it start to come back in. If you remember the afternoon show, there were a few capitulation candles on DATS, so just be very, very careful if you try to catch this falling sword. It had several really firm drops that we're taking advantage of in yesterday's action, and now it's had resistance at all these same levels here today. So I would be utterly shocked if it didn't retest this 1060 or 1050 to 1060, which was good support before. We'll see if it can hold up again today, but it seems almost inevitable that DATS is going to test that one today.
It sure is. Yeah, that's a good trade if you can get that trade, but we have to wait for it to come in. Space will fall the rest of the day. I hope so. Scott Henderson, that would be nice. If that's Scott H, we used to have a Scott H on there, but I see Scott Henderson. What's up, Scott? Welcome, and thank you for joining. Okay, so BBIG, we talked about Vinco Ventures early. I can't believe Facebook's not really moving at all. That means I'm probably going to get stopped out of that one again, as it's not doing anything. But there goes Vinco Ventures on the 20-minute. Again, we talked about these levels here, 8, and then I talked about 750. I mean, when it was crashing down, remember, I was like, oh, BBIG, is that 750 yet? Well, look, there's 750. Okay, there's DATS. So we are into DATS right now at 1125. Where's my 1-minute chart here so I can show you what we're talking about here on DATS? There it is. So we take this bid into this area right there. So if we break that back down through 11, then we're going to be out. But let's see what DATS can do now. We took it into these teeth right here. So that was a level that we talked about we wanted to do. And again, right on our sticky note, it says longs back. Facebook's going to crack. It says longs back to 11. So hopefully we can hold on to this one a little bit more and see if DATS can get back up here to 1180 or so. What's up, B?
This little Cosmos Energy we mentioned yesterday having another decent day here. Bernstein raising the price target on this thing again. Today was a couple yesterday as well. 8.5% here, guys, for KOS on the move.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
The other cost. It's not the act.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I don't want anyone to get confused, because I almost got confused the first time Brendan brought that one up. Jasper is making that test of 50, and I loosely said, and I'm not long in it, just by the way, but I did say here, if it can make a stand around this 15 level here, it does give you a potential break back to the upside, and maybe it's got some second legs. But I wouldn't be holding this through that low of the day. It just kind of gives you a decent risk to reward profile here if you like that long trade. If it pops back, so that's actually a pretty good hold. Like if it pops back up, which it's doing right now, then I'm going to look to see if I can't get a consolidation long and then see if it gets a bit of a dead cat bounce. And like I said, waiting a little bit patiently. Like I'm into a firm. It's going to test that high, and we'll see what happens at the top. I got 23andMe, and then I'm going to hold Virgin Galactic. But I was going to sit out upstart until it got to 400. You're actually very close to 400. So you got to play the patience game here sometimes because like this is not one that you can just sit here and sort of, average in multiple times. I'm willing to take a second crack. There's no levels. 400 is simply psychological at this point. So you're going to look at this extended break. That's a trade that we already lost on. I will be watching the level 2. That's still Jasper because I was looking at that just a couple seconds ago. I will be looking at the level 2. If I do, like if it pops to like 98, 99, then you see like a big offer or something at 400, I might sort of just quickly get into shares in front of it and then have a hard stop because I'm shorting in front of size. More than likely, I actually want to see it test. Most times I want to see it test, break 400, and then just make a hard reversal. So like maybe you trap people that trigger on a 400 break long would be the optimal way to get in. Brendo?
This one was once if I'm not mistaken, Kathy Wood name, Stone Co, STNE guys. A price target cut on this thing today, but a huge move, 6+% on decent volume, straight upside for Stone Co.
Yeah, so we'll rain down some money for StoneCo, and we'll also rain down some money for Ford right now because Ford is a good trade here. So we take that break. We talked about the multi-day. Yes, sir. We just got 88, so that was good. I was offering 88 and was like not sure if we were going to get that. So I could cancel my. I'll offer one bid at 89. So there we go. So some 87s and some 88s out there. We're only out of a third of it, a quarter of it. Sorry, up here. So it could still fade out, but that was a good trade there for Ford. It's been up here before, not recently. This is like new highs for Ford recently, but if you look here at the daily chart and mind these wicks, of course, but we've already ticked up here 116.50. We actually slapped a sell on that when that happened, and then it came all the way back to the downside. I do remember that day, that pretty clearly. So that was a nice move to the downside there. But for right now, Ford looking at this 1630. So let's, again, we'll take profits as we see them. But right now we took a little bit more out on Ford, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. So be very, very careful there with Ford. But good trade so far on that one. Virgin Galactic, I mean, people saying that, hey, this is a short all day. So yeah, I'm going to try to hold it. We did already get out, ding, 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 all the way to the downside. So that was good when that started happening. Now it's barcoding. So if you look at here on a 1 minute chart, this is what's happening. I don't know what's happening right now with Virgin Galactic. Like this doesn't even make any sense for a stock that's down 15% just to be stuck in a 10-cent range here. But, possible movement coming on Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to be really patient with it here. Like my focus is for now going to be on upstart because it's just inching closer and closer. And the kind of thing here, like it's already moved on you. It closed at 380, had it open at 385 today. Like it's giving you $10, $15 moves here. So it could approach 400 rather rapidly. It's the kind of thing where if you take your eye off of it, you're going to miss the chance. So as it approaches that, I am out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching that affirm because it started to roll over and I wanted to see if I could get some shares 152.5 for the last entry point there. You guys already know where the stop is going to be. But upstart, it's starting to taper a little bit here. I do have another, I can switch away from this and still have level 2 that I can watch. But it's starting to slow down. I can show you better in the chart here. It is starting to check up here at 398 as we approach that 400. So there is a consolidation forming, which I think does set up for some people to think about a 400 long break. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like I said, if there's gigantic size in the offer, I would maybe jump in front of it. Otherwise, I want to see that 400 break, trap, and then retrace, and then I would jump into more shares to the short side. I'm also watching LMFA, which I'll give you guys a look here. I mean, you guys don't want to sit here and stare at Upstart all day long because for most people, that's probably a stock that you're not going to be able to, or not going to want to trade given the volatility and how high priced it is. But I can come over to LMFA, which has now got you a double bottom at 480. Triple bottom technically at 480. If it bounces one more time, I think it tests the high. And if it can't break 550, it's probably going to flush. That's just, just if you sort of look at 550 previous resistance, it already stopped out. I made the high of the day there. It's been a tricky one this morning, but this 480 level, anytime you see a level hold like this, throughout the opening range, at least until about 10:30 or so into lunchtime, it almost certainly means you're at least testing the high, right? So that kind of buy support on a gapper usually means that there's going to be some bulls that think it has a second run in it, and that's going to mean testing that high of the day. I'm looking for a lower high as an entry, not a breakdown at 480. We'll see if that ends up being true. Here comes that 400 on Upstart, so I got to get back to that.
Yep. Okay. We're gonna wait here. Oh, do I already have an offer on DATS? Yeah, I do. So DATS, you know what? DATS went up to 40 there. It bounced around and actually put an offer at 39. I should have just marketed that out or marketed a piece of it out. I was only going to be a third of it. So we do have an offer now on DATS up to 39s just because it bounced there. It's only going to be a 14-cent win if it goes there. But I want to take one more piece. I want to take a piece out, like I just said, if DATS can get going upside again. We've seen DATS crash lots of times, man. yesterday was like crazy. There's a couple big moves yesterday that broke to the downside. I think it must have even the day before, on DATs. Like once it wants to go, sometimes it can go violently to the downside. So, that's why when we sit here and we talk about having a plan of action, if this 11 breaks, man, we got to get out of there. So we'll see about taking a piece out right there. And then at least that way we'll have some more to the upside. And if we can get up here again to 1180, we talked about that. That's going to be sort of my area of concern there for DAT. So if we can get that, then fantastic. Not sure we can, but we're going to look to see on that trade for sure. So DAT's right now, 1139, we're trying to get that. Ford, yes, sir, man. Let's hit the air horn for that because Ford right back to 1190. We took some out there at 86 when it was coming to the downside. We just took an 89 offer as well. This is a good trade for me because, again, putting on some real risk here, making some plays, and we're going to see if it just works out for us. So Ford right now, a nice trade. We talked about where that break was right here on the multi-day break. So those are the levels that we like. We had a couple other multi-day breaks that didn't work. Facebook yesterday wasn't a multi-day break. It was just 330. Unfortunately, I took that risk and lost $4 on that. Didn't lose $4, but now it's down $4 from that play. So we'll wait to see what happens. But 1577 was a good trade for us. Facebook's starting to moon a bit. Let's take some more out now. For 90s, yeah, let's go, man. This is a good trade for me.
So there is no big offer at 400 on Upstart, guys. It's actually only a couple thousand shares from what I could see, and it just tested into 87. I was telling Jude, personally, if there's Discord groups that are pumping it, thinking it's going to go to 490. I mean, the long-term problem of the stock is it could actually go to that 490 level. I just think it's too far. And I think it's a more clean entry point if you actually catch it sort of trapping some longs. At this point, the longs are in control of the stock, and until that changes, you want to. This is exactly what you want to see. Like you pop that 400 level, now can hold below and show a little bit of capitulation. You went to 435, which kind of gives you an idea of the follow through in the move and gives you a stop if it retakes 399 or so. So that's the kind of entry I'm looking for. Just remember what you're trying to capture here. Now, what you're trying to capture here at this point is back into that 87 to 90 as a first entry point, first exit, and the rest at 80. So you're talking 10, 15, $20 moves here. So risking a couple of bucks at the top is reasonable, but you wanted to trap, to me, you wanted to trap those shorts. So you give it a little bit of a count. It's still holding. For now, it's still holding shy of that level. It's gone above. Anybody that took the 400 longs got a 425, 450, or 10 or something along those lines. And now asking myself, what are they going to do? Some of them are going to punch out of the short here, and that gives an entry point here, if I can catch it. That gives you a bit of an entry point where you know where your stop is going to be and you know where your targets are going to be. So I'm going to see if I can't get into this one as we just got. You give me a break. Ugh, too much. Yeah, I don't want. I just probably had that one and didn't get it. 399. If this is the top, fair enough. But I think the way that it's traveled to the upside, there's a decent chance it can come back in and give a bit of a short here. Like I don't want to sit here chasing it down to 398. I think there's a decent chance it can still consolidate around this range and give you an entry point off of this high. If this is the turn, I think there'll be more chances to get these prices. Yeah, Facebook just cracked, so we got out of Facebook breaking through that 324 right there. So we're gone on that. Good out, actually. Thank you for that 324 out. But yeah, it just cracks there and we get out. So bye-bye Facebook. You can definitely go to hell and don't even come back. And look, I sold, like, it's just so crazy because I sold Facebook at 329 and I don't like everything that's happening with it. But that stupid 330 level there today, I really thought that was going to be something. And unfortunately, we didn't get out of the way until just now. Well, we got out of the way early, like you saw. We got out of this way right there at 326. So we could have saved ourselves another $2, but we went back in it right there at 325 with some tester shares. Like I said, not a huge position, the last one, but it's still, man, when you lose, and it sucks. So that's a bad one. You're not going to see that happen, hopefully too much to me, but it did happen today. But we are making a little bit more money on Ford now, which is nice as it's going to the top side there. We will look at Wish when we get back. So Hectory Tulo, thank you so much for that super chat. We will look at Wish. Is it a potential sign of market manipulation? I mean, we can look at this right now, actually, because it won't take too long. Brendan's over there at the big screen getting ready to rock and roll, but lots is fresh on my mind. Okay, so 20-minute here on Wish. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything too crazy on here. What kind of market manipulation we might be talking about? But I'm more. When you see some barcoding, I mean, yeah, I don't really see too much here happening on Wish. I think there's a potential. We can look it up when we get back. We'll find out the trade ID is short squeeze potential on there to see what the short is. But I don't mind Wish if it breaks through this 540, which it's coming up to right now. It's a name that can get pumped on boards. We know that. So there is a chance there if it breaks this 540 that people get excited again because the bottom's 450. So you're holding about $1 against you with a lot more upside. So I don't mind this play at all. Wish breaking through 540. Thank you for the super
super chat. I'll check the short interest as far as I can see. And I don't mind this play through 540, but it's Brendan with DATS at the big screen. I'm still, oh, I did get that DATS fill, Brendo. We just got it at 1140 there, so a nice little 15-cent win for now on DATS, making a little bit of money back, little by little.
Hey guys, yeah, let's jump into a few that we're moving around here in the pre-market. I really like this morning because it was trading below this congestion area from yesterday. It ended up being, 1, 2, 3 times, even if you count aftermarket, where it stalls out and just couldn't trade higher. So this morning we were below 12. We were below 12.25, 12.30. So once this got back below 12 and then you got the retest and fail, I really like this trade. So all the way down to 11 there for DATS, starting to bounce though. As the guys were saying, we saw crazy moves in that thing the past couple of days. So be careful with that. SNOA took a couple shots at this just versus 765, which was a significant level in the pre-market, down to 660 for SNOA, looking like it might want to roll over. And then LMFA, I was talking about 550. We get the test of 550. It does go through it, but ends up failing there. So I'm going to be short as long as this thing is below 550, but bit of a choppy mess so far for LMFA. Guys, back to you.
So like I said, I'd be a little bit patient at that top turn upside. I kind of felt it was going to give you another chance to get into it here. And it ends up being true, right? So it does take out that 400 again, trap some longs the second time. Now I'm in the position. I could have chased, this is the thing, I could have easily chased it down to 398. Instead my price will be like, 399 and a quarter or so, somewhere around this. Like actually 399.30, not that 5 cents matters on this stock. Probably VWAP and then like 388, then hold all the way down to like at least a 380 if it's going to make that turn. So we'll see. To me, it's the last stop, right? Like above here, like what are you talking about? 420, 425? Like this is the last time I'd give it a shot, and we waited for that 400 level to get back into it. Rob with the 420, he's there solo. He's got to have a little bit of fun, obviously, which is fine. I'm kind of curious. There's a few names that got ignored this morning, one of which we can be happy about. So Tesla got to 828, and remember we talked about this level. We talked about this level breaking eventually when it broke that 800, and then taking out this 820 or 820 area. It's more like an 818, but I call it 820. There's just nothing in terms of resistance until you get to like 875. Like Tesla's in the midst of a bit of a jailbreak when the market's struggling to get past this current extend past this 15,000 level, at least on the NASDAQ. So the relative strength on Tesla is in. We were talking EVs yesterday, and I'm not personally in love with any of the Chinese ones. I'm kind of with you, Sean. I don't own Ford, I own GM and Tesla. And there's none of the other little names, but the trend here is absolutely fantastic, and it's very controlled. Every single day it's controlled move up in Tesla, and that's what we're seeing. I don't know where the dip is going to be or the pullback, but it hasn't really given you more than $10, $15 at a time. As I said with Upstart, I think as patient as you are, whoops, that's still Tesla somehow. As patient as you are with the first move and in getting into it, you have to be just as patient as it goes in the money. Like you have to have all kinds. Like you can't take 97s out here. You could. Do whatever you want to do. It's just no.
Yeah.
If you're trading this stock, like this is the daily chart. Like this is the 15-minute chart. Like if you're happy with a $2 move in Upstart, that's fair. Like to me, I was shorting with an average price in here, essentially at 84 and change, and willing to give it back up into this 90 to 91 break, right? So if you're risking $5 or $6 in the trade, I thought we're going to hold that for first exit out at 380, and then all the way down to like a 375, and then last ditch probably down to this cluster at 365. So I'm looking at least $10 as an average out, and I think as it extends to 400, I almost feel like I want more than an average out of $10 because it's gone even further and it could travel even further to the downside. So I'm trying to be really, really patient here. Now, whenever I have this set up, I'm pretty much always going to cover some in front of VWAP. It's just the way I like to play it. Usually on a move like this, it's going to bounce off VWAP. I was doing it on the way up, it tends to do it on the way down, and then maybe it makes a lower high that I can average into again. But the way this stock moves, A, might be in it all day, B, might have a reload, and C, have to resist the temptation to just see some green on a bad day for me and want to make that money. You still have to be able to trade your setups regardless of how your day is going, right? This will be my worst day this month. Well, knock on wood, but things could change. But at the end of the day, you still have to trade the setups exactly as they are. You have to stay disciplined, go right back into the well, and then just do what you know to do best, which is take the entries where you can find where you're going to be wrong, make sure you're patient, get the prices that you want, make sure your targets make sense to you and you're following your battle plan, right? So I'm not going to dwell on it. Although Virgin Galactic, as I say all of that, we talked about being patient with Virgin Galactic, and Virgin Galactic is now back to that 21 level. I got one shot at the lower high. If it rolls over again after testing 21, then I might take some more shares off that lower high at 21 again. And much like these other positions of Firm, Upstart, and Virgin Galactic, I might just have to be in them all day long. This market, if it does fail here in the NASDAQ, I kind of feel like we're headed down, at least 1 point. Brendo?
Just saw Bitcoin, guys. So it's just kind of bouncing back and forth, one side of 60 and then back below. So Bit Mining Limited, which is BTCM, is a pure mining play. Big volume spike there to the downside as we took out that last support, 960. So heads up on BTCM, trying to come back to the downside a little.
That's it's interesting. I wasn't really looking at enough of these Bitcoin plays. Unfortunately, I wish I had. I can say I sold some Silvergate, and I don't know, I guess that wasn't a good decision. I kind of felt like it was overextended. Whenever I own the equities here, and I'm really just talking about Silvergate and Coinbase, and I've checked out nothing of Coinbase because it's not going high enough. Now, to me, it's like that money goes into actual, for now, Ethereum, because I've been buying dips in that instead of Bitcoin. We'll see how that goes. But I just kind of felt like as Silvergate got towards this high, it was already extending so far on a nice breakout that it was going to find some rejection at that top here, which it so far has. I know I saw somebody talking about this in the chat that they were trading Silvergate, and it just look at the same sort of thing. It's got this hard lower high at 168, 169, and it's put in like a 175 wick top. It's the kind of thing where if like today, as I checked, double check, yeah, we're back below 60,000. Like if you got a pullback, a significant pullback in crypto, specifically in Bitcoin, you might actually see something like this fall right back into minimum a 150 level. So always tread lightly. Make sure if you're ever trading one of these names and you're not at least tracking spot prices, I don't care where you do it, Binance, Kraken, it doesn't really matter, but you should be tracking it. You can never be trading those blind. Just as I said here, testing that 21 here in Virgin Galactic, it just got up 21 even. Now we're back into the 90s. We get back below 90 here, and I'll probably add one more time and then see if I can't hold on to this trade. This is up till 2150, like we said before, and just checking back in on a Firm. There's really almost nothing to report on it. Like a Firm is first not loading. There we go. A Firm is testing that high, and it's just been sitting here off that 153 top, and it's now like this is an hour into the day. Like this had rolled over. I mean, like yesterday, this had rolled over a half an hour ago. Like it happened so soon. I guess if you complain about it enough, it comes right back down. But it's starting to come back in. But I'm covering nothing until it gets below that 150 level, and then I'm shooting, 140. I'll have two outs between 150 and 145. That'll be around the 148 level, and then down around 146. And then I want to hold on. Like I said, if the market breaks down here and a Firm doesn't break this double bottom at 144, I would be utterly shocked. We'll see what happens. Upstart starting to roll down. It's at 395. I'm not covering anything until it gets to about like 393 or so in front of VWAP. So the turn feels like it's coming. Obviously, I'm going to need it to because I've been betting the short turn the entire morning. Brendo, what's up?
Coming back to the downside, I just saw breaking support here. There was another headline this morning. We talked about some negativity yesterday on Boeing, but they said they're going to need more time, more money to correct already built 787 planes. That was after they said the ones that are in use now, there's no safety concerns or underlying safety issues with them. But have a look at Boeing back to the downside again today, a couple days in a row for BA. It's 10:30. Quick check here on Europe. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are also positive. On the other side, banking software firm Temenos, trading in Switzerland, is down more than 12% after missing third quarter revenue expectations. Back to you.
Yeah, a bit of a choppy day so far, guys, for European markets. Positive, though, so there's that.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to the Raptors game February 3rd right now, so that's going to be good. I think it's against the Heat, so that's good.
Oh, that's a great game. That's a great game.
Yeah, because of KL, right?
That just occurred to me.
Yeah, so That's okay. I think it's gonna be a good one too. I mean, just fun. Like I said, I'm already in line. I haven't heard anything. I don't. You know, I'm gonna Google like how long the wait list is. If anybody you work for MLSE, let me know because I want to get some. I want to get lower bowl. Sides. That's what I want to get. I'm willing to spend the money. So let me know if anybody has a hookup with Raptors season tickets or anything like that. I want to own those. So let me know if that's coming through. DATS right there, 1150. So I know Brennan did a little piece on them, but as soon as he went up there, it went up to 1160 there. I was waiting for it. I still thought that we could get some love back up to 1175. But again, this is scalping, not holding out for the dream, but we're out of 1/3, 2/3. Now we have 1/3 left, and DATS, this is the spot that we'll hold out for to see if we can make dreams come true to the upside here for DATS. So we'll see if that can hold out. 1170, again, that's going to be a little bit of a target. Hopefully it cracks that. We don't have any offers there because again, we're trying to get this to go. Well, we're not trying to do anything. We're just waiting for it. If it hits 12, we'll be there. So we'll see if DATS can go. We talked about it breaking through 1250 as a possible high. So if I can get from 1120 up to 12, we will do that. Ford, yeah, thanks Morgan. Thanks for a lot of you guys there talking about Ford there on the chat and this kind of a play. So that was a good one, man. And again, these are my favorite plays. We actually have some videos out about the plays that we do, and I like multi-day high breaks, right? So you get those breaks. There it is, man. Ford now, yeah, go up to 16 bucks. So this should be a good trade. Hopefully, should be a good trade. I mean, I'm hoping it is. We'll see if it can continue to move to the upside here. Ford breaking through 16 would be pretty sweet. So we have. Unfortunately, we have a quarter of the trade left as we have been getting this out on the way up. So no offers right now, but probably should as it's double, triple topped right now at 96, 97. So we'll put out another piece right here, and then we'll try to hold like 35% or so in case we get that rip through 16. So that's the plan of action there on Ford. I like it. So we'll wait to see if that's going to take off. Other than that, man, I mean, AMD, let's check back in our AMD.
Just a couple of things.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
One, someone asked about Alibaba. I saw someone talk about Alibaba making a strong move. So yes, it's outpacing the market up 1.5%. Keep in mind, it just recently broke the 50-period moving average. I love, it doesn't have to break to 175 today. The fact that it even consolidates above here, that'll be good enough for me. You close above 165 on Alibaba and consolidate, holding this, which is essentially the 50-period on the daily chart there on the 15. It doesn't have to break highs. It just has to hold above. If the market rolls back in and Alibaba holds this 164, that's a fantastic sign. And this is the first time I actually get to do this, so I'm going to be pretty happy about it because it hasn't been a great morning, but at least Upstart. Look, the best way to think about, if you have a good day, bad day, whatever it might be, especially on why is it still Alibaba? Especially if you're having a bad day, is you should always judge things based on did you follow your plan? Losses is part of the game. So here, if I had taken shares off at 396, even if I made everything back on Upstart in particular, I'd be angry with myself because that would not be following the plan. I said I wanted it in front of VWAP, which is this cluster right here, which is about 394. And it breaks through VWAP. I'm actually waiting back down. This might be a bit too deep because as I look at this pullback here, it was right to 88. So I should probably be somewhere in the 89 to 90 range, but I can always move that if it comes down in. The market still hasn't rolled over. Upstart has pulled back here into VWAP without the market making up its mind whatsoever. If we do fall from this point, of all the stocks that would come back down, I gotta feel like it's this one, especially if it has a bunch of retail piling in and essentially pumping it. If the market were to deviate from its path, upside currently, then you could see Upstart all the way back to 380, which I think is a possibility. I mentioned Tesla once. Tesla about to take out the days. Oh, we're not gonna get there.
High? Day's low.
Oh, high of the day
High
Tesla
of the day.
right now.
Oh my God.
It's just, Tesla's been so ridiculously strong here. So I hope you're going long today, Miss V, on Tesla because there's no stopping this, it seems.
Yeah, watch Miss V trade during Memes and Movers coming up very, very soon. And look at Facebook, man. We'll put an evil laugh on this name. I can't believe how far this is going down. There it is. Wow. We were right to get out of the way on Facebook here. We weren't right. This was really. I'm happy with all of that. I'm not happy. I'm happy with my executions because I think we did a good job not, getting absolutely roasted here on FB. But, it was this last chance there. We probably should have. And I said about this, if you're watching about an hour ago, I was like, hey, man, as a manager and as someone, that hires traders and blah, 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 I don't recommend doing this. But I did it anyways, which was a mistake. So I I lost a little bit more money on that dip when I should not have done that. But again, you learn lessons every day. 322.50. 44.50 was the low back there. But again, on a day like today, we're going to wait for Facebook to make a decent move. Probably stay away from it. I mean, I don't feel like it should be down 2%. So obviously I don't. I'm missing something. Maybe there was something else that came out here on Facebook today with the NASDAQ still trying to hold highs, not highs, but trying to hold above water here at 0.25. So NASDAQ not really participating kindly, but that's fine. We go back over to a staple play for us with Ford. I mean, that was just a good trade there, breaking through 1580, I think it was. Yeah, we're long at 81s. So Ford, again, guys, a good trade for us today, all the way to the up. There's one in and just a bunch of outs. So we have a serious position on, so that's why we take it out there. DATS, on the other hand, is starting to go right now again. So let's see if DATS can make that move up to 12. If it does, that's absolutely fantastic. Wow, is that Alcoa that I'm seeing there? Wow, Alcoa. Wow, what is up with this stock? Like, I'm super happy. I mean, let's go big ups to Nucor, man. Let's punch that in the face. We're really happy with the way, did that just punch out there? Watch your screens here. Bang, there you go. Sorry, send the bill to Brendan. Alcoa, 14% up today. I know Brendan brought this to us early, but what a great earnings name for Alcoa. And still March, Alcoa, as it keeps on going. Look at the daily range. This is why, like, I was like, huh? Alcoa? Like, I thought this name was a teens name. Like, I didn't think that right now, but I didn't think it was at $60, that's for sure. I thought we were in the 30s still, but what a great bump up. And that goes to show you, like, I wasn't even looking at Alcoa when I was looking at Nucor and United Steel. So this should be a good sign here for the play that I have. And you guys know this, man. We bought Nucor, so we'll go, that was a good idea, because down into this teeth right here, this is one of the recent buys that we had in the market that we tweeted out. $96 for Nucor, now up to 103. So that's 10% in about a week for Nucor. The other one that we bought recently was Nike. This was at 145. So this is another $10 winner for us here. NKE, and again, Nike, when it loads up, you'll see why we bought it right here. There's that 145 right there, tops, comes right back in off of a bad earnings report. I didn't even know it was a 200 period. Neil brought that up the other day, so I added it to my chart as well. It's good to find value, but we did find it there on Nike by accident, I guess, because of that value. So that was a good buy. And then another one that we did TDOC yesterday, so I don't think it's doing much. And then PayPal, I'm long at 260. I'll have to find out the price of this, because it was either 260 or 266 for PayPal, but that seems to be working as well. And PaySafe, I'm not going to talk about that till that gets to 10.
And that Jasper, man. So anyways, it tried to break that 15 level. Now, anytime you have a stock which is this volatile and it breaks a level like this at 15, and it barely goes, it goes to like 14.50 and then comes back in. Like, think about like that whole failed break trade that I do to the short side. It's exactly the same principle to the long side, right? It's just like, oh, it's gonna pile in at the low here. It's gonna fall even further. It's gonna fall like a rock. It does not, and then consolidates right back at 15 even. So okay, I finally found a long trade I liked here, just from risk to reward. I grabbed 15.15. The spread opens up at like 5 cents every now and then, so watch this stock a little bit. I want to get some out probably in front of 16 even, just because $15 to $16. And if it can break, I want to hold on to it just to see what it does here between 16 to 16.50 and VWAP, because if it screams into this level and can break out from there, maybe you're retesting that high. You know, this is definitely a thin enough name that it could go again. I am wary of the fact that, from what you guys were saying, it seems like it was just a pure pump stock, because a lot of times that means you're going to have a short-lived second move, if at all. But for now, the risk reward's pretty good. Once I bank some profit here, I'm unlikely to want to reload into it. But hey, if it has like a big bid in front of 15 or consolidates on a higher low, it would still set up again. Getting ahead of myself and getting over to Brendan at the big screen for Sector Watch. Market's green, but could it make up its mind?
Kill him.
Hey guys, yeah, pretty muted overall as far as directional move, only 0.6 here, but this is a pretty positive board right across the entire thing. If you come over here, this is the material sector, only the material sector in negative territory, offsetting what would be, I feel, a much bigger day. Facebook was mentioned there, 1.4 to the downside, Fox below that, 1.4. Take-Two Interactive in the communications group, 1.4 to the upside. So offsetting. Financials are leading right now, even though there are a few here in the red as far as individual banks are concerned. We mentioned Wells Fargo, 5.25% to the upside for Wells. Cities here, BAC, they're all having a great day. Goldman as well, 2% off of their report. Industrial stocks, very, very positive. Tech stocks, very, very positive. There are a few, WDC to name a few, negative, but HPQ doing more than enough to kind of offset any of that negativity. It's the software names, though, in the tech group that are leading to the upside, along with semiconductors, very positive. But all of the strength in the market coming from the industrials and the financials today. Doing the heavy lifting, as I mentioned, only the materials group here to the downside so far today. It has been pretty positive, 0.61 for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
Brendan, our story is up there. Someone put in the chat that you and I are in a past life we're stepbrothers, so they got us figured out. So we are.
Who's Will Ferrell? And then what's the other guy's name?
I'm Will Ferrell. He's
what's his name from Talladega Nights, man?
I know, we were just talking about, we don't know the guy's name. The other guy in the movie Step Brothers. You know, Brendan could be Will Ferrell. I'll be the other guy. Will Ferrell's more handsome than the other guy, so that's
usually
why.
really good at this.
Yeah.
My wife and I play like an IMDb game where it's like, if you see someone on screen, like watching a movie, and it's like, if you can figure out, it has to be the first big movie they did, like that made them famous, or just the oldest thing they were ever in. But it can't be someone like really big. Like you have to be like, oh, I kind of know that actor.
John C. Reilly.
Dude, it's John C.
I shouldn't have even looked at that.
I
can't stop looking at the chat. I was gonna give you time there, and I just said.
Because you know what happens when you have that, and you're like, I have to get this on my own.
Yeah, that's me. I'm that
me.
guy for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna get that one.
I really
He's
want to
great,
watch
by the
that
way.
with my kids, but Marissa and I, the wife, my wife, we were watching it the other day there, and did you get my message too? Oh, sweet, that was last.
The coffee machine's broken,
Thank you,
guys,
Greg.
so thank you, Greg, so
Cheers.
much.
So thank you
Imagine
to Greg for
trading
that
without
one.
coffee.
Now
Like,
I owe him infinitely amounts of coffee because that's a good save there as I was out of mine there. So thank you again. But yeah, we watched Step Brothers. I was hoping that we could watch it again,
Thanks, Rob.
but it's way too much language in that movie. So we won't be watching now with any kids. We watched Big Daddy, which was Adam Sandler, and that was a lot of fun. So I was like, let's get them into some like more mature movies, but not that one. So Step Brothers, but it's like one of my all-time favorites, honestly, Step Brothers. So that and Scarface, love that. Okay, eyes on Ford. Yeah, stay focused, Sean, says Dan McIsaac. So let's stay focused right there and watch it. So Ford right now breaking through there. Hello, big size. Sorry if I said that a little too loud there. Big size here on Ford. So that's 800,000 shares right there. So if you guys have never seen a level 2 with a decent amount of size, there it is right there.
Oh.
I'm going to say see you later to that. I think that's going to get taken out very, very soon. So we will put an offer out, get another piece out at 16 just in case. Sometimes size runs away. Sorry, the offer will run away. The bid will run away from this offer. So we'll wait to see what happens now. But Ford, big size alert on Ford right there as it's trying to go back to the upside, or not back, trying to break through 16. Very, very key level, man. The last buy I had on Ford, and again, we tweeted this out, and it's worked out so great, was that 1330. So we loved that break right here, the break of VWAP, 1330. There was some levels there as well. So that was an absolute monster. Coffee machine good now, says Rob, but that's fine because we just got Tim Hortons in the building. So if Timmy's wants to sponsor us, I didn't see if anybody knew anybody in MLSE, but if you do, hit me up at Trader TV. Sean, let's go.
Well, we'll do this one. We finally found a long. So there's a bit of a consolidation shy of 16 on Jasper. So I let it try to chew through this for a couple of minutes, but then the second it wouldn't, I grabbed some shares out there. It'll only be about a 50-cent win, so not quite like 60 or 70, which I would have looked for. But you don't know where it's going to turn, and ultimately this is more, I'm playing a long consolidation on a stock which could jailbreak to the downside, which look at the capitulation candle that it's putting in right now, like right after I get out of some shares. It's still holding the low. I wouldn't jump back in at 15 even because it did break and then hold 1450. So if there's going to be a long, it's probably going to be either consolidating above 15 or breaking 15 to the downside and managing to hold the level. You can see, look how quickly, like it took this long to get up. And then we're going back down to this 15 level in a heartbeat. So I'm not rushing to get back into the long side of the trade. So I'll be pretty happy with what we already had. Still in Virgin Galactic. We said this could be an all-day thing. And we mean it. This could be an all-day thing. I'm on the bid down here in front of 50s to cover some. And I'll probably cover some in front of 20 even. And then just let the rest of it ride. If you're trying to pick this one up for the long term, as someone who already owns shares, I'm waiting for deeper into the teens. Like I'm not talking $19. I know that technically that's the teens, but I'm looking all the way at this bottom range here, which is 14 to 18. That's the cluster I think the stock could head into. And then it makes a consolidation down there. I'd nibble one time in front of it to make sure I got something, and then be patient. If you think it's a 2 to 5 year play, you don't have to rush into shares. Like from the time I said I wanted to buy shares of Uber to the time I actually bought shares of Uber was like a matter of months, and I don't care. It's just if your time frame is longer, then you can't rush into an entry point. It's not a day trade. You don't have to get it or be afraid to miss it. You miss it by $1 and you think it's going to go 50 or 30 or 30 or 50 or 10 or whatever, it's not the end of the world. Okay, 10 might matter for $1, but you see what I'm getting at there. Don't rush into Virgin Galactic if you want to buy it. I'm being very, very patient. We're shorting it today because we think it's going to flush. I don't think Tesla's going to necessarily flush, but it did just turn off the high. There we go. It did just turn off the high of the day here. This didn't flip somehow. At 831, maybe it pulls back into view up. This is all while, oddly enough, the NASDAQ pushed back into the top of its 50-point range, and Tesla decided to go the other way. So it's kind of weird. Tesla broke out when we're barcoding in the futures, and then Tesla's turning around as the futures kind of ticked up a couple of points. So Tesla has this weird thing where it's not necessarily following the rest of the tech space. I think that means that if we do get that rollover, Tesla probably holds up better than other names. That's just my guess. If we do get a hard rollover, I'm probably going to try to bottom pick Tesla. But at this point, it's hard to bet that anything is going to happen. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be too shocked, Sean.
Yep.
If throughout memes and movers, and maybe up till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, we haven't broken out of this range in the futures on a Friday. Like it just kind of feels like that's what's happening. And maybe that has something to do with why, a lot of the trades for me didn't work out, because when I play that counter trend rollover trade, if nothing happens in the market, a lot of times you don't get that catalyst for continuation on the moves, which I definitely need to happen most of the time. So we'll see. I mean, we have a lot of time to go in this day. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. Like we may be gone in 13 minutes, but memes and movers comes in and we're back at 3. And there's still lots moving on the session. It's just not the overall market.
No, and that is the thing. So this is going to be, we will be negative here. It'll be the first time in like 60 days probably for you guys here on the show because of the Facebook trade. I will not be negative when we come back at 3 o'clock. I guarantee you that. But right now, FSL. Okay, thanks, Dominic, again, for the super chat. Where is Dominic on here? He always said super chat. Where are you, Dominic? There he is. How about some FSL love? So let's look at Dominic FSL right now. So again, a lot of the love coming into some of these names right now because of, the president's love for, and I think the right way to get into some of the renewable energy names. So I think FSL there off these bottoms, just on a daily chart, looks fantastic, man. This 550, I mean, if you were to be able to pick that up, similar to like XL Fleet, similar to what I'm trying to do on Clover, things like that. So, you get this break of 8, which is coming, man. I mean, I don't mind that. FSL up today, up that 6%. We've seen where it can go, 26, 27, 28. They're making deals kind of similar to that plug power play. Today it's been a monster move, breaking that 735. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong taking out tops here on FSL. It's already above it on the 50-period moving average there on the daily chart as well. The VWAP there, 740, and then we like it on the daily chart there. So, I mean, it's hard to say that's what I was talking about. There's the 50 period. It's already cracked that. So, you get a break here of 8. And then, maybe we do visit that 200 period up to $11. So, I like FSL. Thanks, Dominic, for pointing that out. I think that's a name that could work. So, FSL. And there goes Ford. So, Ford does break it, right? So, we will go to the moon now with Ford because Ford, again, another great play here for us today through 1580. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. We're barely down on the day. Like, I act like, oh my God, we're down, but we're not really. It just, this was a nice play for us. Made some money back there. Made some money, obviously, on space. We're still 40 cents in the money on this one, and I think this one can drop, but we'll see on that. And then AMC was a good trade for us early when we smacked that 40.50 and took out 50 cents twice on that name. So actually that was 40 cents and then that was 50 cents. So that was a good play, and it looks like AMC right now looking at 41 again. So I think we take out that high, you can go. So on the Memes and Movers show, watch out for 41.30 there. Shout out to Prad. That should be a good one. 41.50 break there on AMC.
You know what, I was half a mind, honestly, at some point yesterday to just be like, Lyft was down too much and pick it up. Remember yesterday, Lyft was just divergent. It got a downgrade and was divergent from Uber because Uber was up a few points.
Hey,
and Lyft was it was down 4%. And all day long, I'm like, why? And all we could come up with was they got a downgrade. And, every now and then you see something like that, and it's just like, whatever, just take a shot at it. Because it gave you a chance at like $50. Now you're at like 52, breaking back above the 50 period. And I think it's kind of come and gone. It's a bit of a The trend is sort of being broken on Lyft, and I know it had a better trend. It was always pointed out to us every time I mentioned, I think it was to Mark, that I was in Uber and liked Uber. Lyft was performing better, but the trend is broken. But you see opportunities like that, and it just might be like an overnight swing kind of thing, or a hold for a couple of days with a hard stop. That's like, long in front of 50. It opens below it one day, you get out. Otherwise, you try to catch it, back into this range at like a 53 or 54. I'm not even saying it goes back to 55 on Lyft, but that just popped into my head. I'm going to hold on to Upstart, like I said. It's continuing to pull back in here. Another tested VWAP. If it breaks VWAP, I want to see if I can get out between 88s and 90s, somewhere in that range. It's about just making the right decision here. It just put in a lower high. And I'm only taking one leg out, so we can hang on to this. The market is yet to roll over, but we are going to now see. We're right at 60,000. Wow. But I just kind of spoiled one thing for you there. But time for learning about money and currencies, but mostly about Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we care about crypto. Brendo.
Hey guys, let's get a look here. First off, 59.9 and change. So we did, as I was saying, kind of test above, come back below, test above. We are currently back below 60,000, but still 4% for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Following suit as well. Pretty muted otherwise on this board outside of the British pound. Threw it up on the chart there because a big move today so far. 136.2 up to 137 and change. The Bank of England out with a little bit more bullish rate hike expectations this morning. So 0.7 for the British pound there, 137.7. Everything else, as I said, pretty positive, but nothing out of the ordinary outside of the pound, guys. Back over to you.
All right.
XPeng?
Yeah, XPeng, NEO. I mean, all these stocks are just off to the races today. I'm glad. I've already talked about the EV space that I like. I like Ford for Rivian. I like Ford for what they're doing anyways, electrifying the Mustang, and then that's the Mach-E, and then also the F-150. So we like those plays. But yeah, NEO right now at the high of the day again, man, up another 4% and a bit. The last time it cracked the high of the day, it broke it, but this was like a couple different tops there. Wow, there it goes through 38. Wow, man, NEO. We talked about picking some names up on the bottom. I'm not sad I didn't get this one because it was a Chinese name, and I'm not favoring those names right now. But NEO on the way back up. We can also check out Alibaba.
If you look at XPeng, it's actually it's got a way better looking chart than NEO. And we talked about this. Video is going to come out, but check out Chinese sales in China for that big three. Like Li Auto and XPeng actually have better selling individual models. I know they do deliveries that are around the same, but there's a bit of a diversion, so it's worth looking at. But a great looking chart here for XPeng. We talked about Alibaba. I just want that baby to hold 165 today. I think any closing price above that is fantastic for Alibaba in the week that it's had. Of course, like anything else, I mean, you're always one headline away from like a 5% move to the downside and then another 5% the next day. I hope that doesn't happen, obviously, as a shareholder, but you never really know. There's a lot of risk involved, though. So for me, I got a firm space and Upstart. We had to be very patient with these. I probably overtraded in the morning. Like GitLab is probably the best experience. We had a great dip buy, able to catch a $4 or $5 move, and then give it all back, and then some when it dipped down again and broke that 97 level. So I don't want to rush into any trades. I think I want to see the market make a bit of a determination where it wants to go here first. Like I'm not even going to try to force something on these EV names, Brendo.
Guys, just a note, nothing terribly exciting. That's Boeing, still watching Boeing day lows. Nothing terribly exciting for earnings. It's Friday. There never is. Monday as well. There's nothing, huge in the morning, but we'll get Tesla. So Tesla aftermarket, I believe it is on Monday. So heads up there. Also LVS aftermarket on Monday. So we're starting to get into some of the bigger names as of next week, but pretty quiet day today, guys.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we're going to like Tesla earnings on the show. That should be a big one. So join us for that when that comes through on Monday. We talked about that GitLab coming through as well. We talked about that 101 area. I don't know how we pegged that, but we did, and it just bounced off 101. So far, so good on that GitLab talk there that we had at 101. So if you want to take that break, I think that's something that you could do. But Tesla's been an absolute beast recently, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't expect anything but a beat from good old Elon Musk and company.
They're going to. Let's be honest about it.
Up another 5% today, Brendan says, but yeah, wow.
Another 5?
Great movement, great name, man. I love Tesla.
Yeah, we'd love to see another 5. I don't know what Miss V's doing in Tesla, but we're gonna find out for sure because that's what it's all. I love memes and movers because they have a good dynamic going. But Miss V is learning trading live in front of everybody that gets to check it out, right? Like she came to us with no trading experience, hopped in our simulator, and guess what? Like we've already discussed this. Like she's sort of getting on that path, and I don't want to jinx it of hopefully eventually getting her to be live trader, right? So there's a process you have to go through, proving yourself, and I think she's going to be on that path for us here, and it'll be fun because you guys get to see that entire journey, which I think is a cool one. I'm going to shout out to Greg, by the way. I know the machine's working for me in this coffee because I thought of this just now. It's completely a coincidence, I think. This is the first time I've actually done this show and didn't drink coffee before the open, by the way. Probably not. I mean, I don't know if I'm like, I had tea instead. Maybe a bad decision. We'll see. But the coffee definitely tasting pretty good.
Yep. Coffee always tastes pretty good in my opinion. So, there's a lot of bad coffee. Let's not don't hold me to that all the time. But thank you to Greg for that one for sure, as it does mean a lot. And thank you for looking out for us, buddy. Okay, so we did get back into Facebook there. I didn't even want to talk about it because I've been talking about it all day. We tried. We tried this little level right there, see if it could hold, man. I mean, we're long right now at 323.70. It does go about 50, 60 cents in the money. We don't take it. I'm thinking we could just sort of cruise back here. I wonder if whatever this was all about, I mean, the volume's kind of getting a little dead right now. I think we can creep back to the upside. So I do have a target up here. And I actually have an offer at 324.80. So 324.80, we'll see if we can make $1 back on this name. I mean, it'll make some money back. There's no doubt about that. But I'm super confident, with the trading abilities. So hopefully that we will be back to positive land. And if we're not, we're not. But it's been a good day today. I think we've had a lot of good winners on board. But I'm still holding that DATS. I mean, talk about getting out of that one. And I can't believe that almost went to VWAP again. Our out's going to be around 12. We talked about that. So hopefully DATS will run. That's a one to look at. And then we did empty it out. We didn't empty it out, but we did take out a decent spot there at 16 like we said we would when we saw that size. So we let it run upside, but we did take a little piece out. Now Ford coming back in as the market's trying to hold highs right now on the S&P. I don't know, we're getting close to memes and movers, but before we do about what day it is, what about the likes, man? Like 1.1K here on a Friday. If we can get that a little bit higher, that would be fantastic. It's also Merch Friday as well. So, if you want to support the merchandise, maybe Valeria, I don't even care about what day it is. Maybe you can run over the merchandise as well if you have that up. If not, do that. Let's do that on memes and movers. But let's throw it over to Valeria. As right now, Facebook 80 cents in the money. So that's working out pretty good. What's up, V?
Hey, Sean, I wouldn't say so because National Day is amazing today. I want everyone to know about that. But indeed, guys, go to our homepage, find store, and check out our merchandise. I'm pretty sure you're going to like it. And if you already have it, please make pictures, post it on social media, tag tradertv.live, and we'll be happy to repost you. I hope you're having a great week and a day so far. Thank you very much for all the support, for all the super chats, likes, and welcome new members and new subscribers. Me and Pratt can't wait for you to join Memes and Movers. Let's keep trading together, and happy National Shawarma Day, everyone.
Which day?
Shawarma.
Oh, shawarma. Hell yeah. You are right about that one. There's so many amazing shawarma places in Toronto that it's unbelievable. We love that shawarma. So holler at shawarma. Definitely liking that one. I don't even think we need to ask Brendan.
You know he does. Everybody likes.
Okay, I'm going to say yes. That's an easy one.
I like the open box ones, not the wrap ones, but yeah.
Okay, that's it, Brendan.
Obviously.
I didn't do this. I didn't do this today, but now you're getting it because there always has to be something. So there we go. There we go. One more time for fun. If you guys missed this there you go. At the end of the show yesterday, we had some fun with that one. So there goes Brendan again.
He knows what he likes. Like I don't know.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Brendan, it always feels like, look, at the end of the day, you got to do you. Or we say do you in trading. So
all right, I just got out of some Facebook there for the $1. We'll cash that out a little bit. Feeling like Superman.
Market's hitting the high, by the way.
Shoot Superman out of the moon there on Facebook today. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, Osmows is $5 today in Toronto, someone just said there. So good job there. Thank you for that. Yeah, tons of great shawarma places. So there's Facebook, really right up to VWAP. So yes, sir. I did see if I don't talk about it, sometimes these things can happen. Good for us, Ford running, DATS running, but it's been a big day for us, Neil, and we're excited for Memes and Movers.
Absolutely. About to get the Trader Pratt and Miss V. Now remember, you made the great call in GitLab. He was the one saying it was going to break 100 all morning long and all day long. So we'll send it back to him to see what he thinks. Trader Pratt and Ms. V.
Hey guys, welcome back to Memes and Movers. It is sadly the last day of the week, but right here to enjoy the last Friday of the week is the beautiful Miss Wee.
Hey guys, welcome back everyone. Thank you for joining us. Happy Friday to you all. I hope it's a good Friday for you. Please be active on the chat. Ask us any